Welcome, dear friend, to this tranquil journey through the corridors of time. Together, we'll delve into the life of one of history's most magnificent rulers, allowing this hour to be a space for gentle rest and profound reflection. Tonight, we embark on a voyage spanning more than 3 millennia, to vividly recount the extraordinary existence of Ramses II, a pharaoh whose epoch-making reign marked the absolute zenith of ancient Egyptian civilization. Whether you are settling down for a peaceful night's sleep or simply seeking to gently slow the hurried pace of your evening, I extend my sincere gratitude that you've chosen to share this exploration of the ancient world's wonders with me. Our narrative begins in the 13th century BC, a period when the storied Nile Valley flourished in unparalleled splendor under the stewardship of a man who would forever be known as Ramses the Great. This is far more than a mere chronicle of military conquests and monumental constructions, though these elements undeniably forged a significant part of his enduring legacy. Instead, we shall metaphorically walk alongside this remarkable pharaoh through the minutiae of his daily existence, observing how absolute power profoundly manifested itself in the intricate routines, the vital relationships, and the immense responsibilities that defined his truly extraordinary life. What I am about to unveil promises to transport you directly into the vibrant heart of ancient Thebes, Memphis, and Pyramus, where each rising sun heralded new and intricate challenges for a ruler governing the most potent empire on earth. You will come to feel the tangible weight of the double crown, sense the refreshing morning breeze sweeping across the Nile as majestic royal barges prepared for yet another day of profound governance, and ultimately comprehend how the singular vision of one man irrevocably reshaped an entire civilization. The year is precisely 1279 BC, and the lingering pre-dawn darkness still delicately shrouds the royal quarters of Pyramus, the magnificent new capital city that proudly bears our pharaoh's very name. Within the private chambers of the palace, Ramses II stirs, awakening beneath linen sheets woven with a finesse far exceeding anything we might conceive of today. These were not merely humble bed coverings. Rather, they were exquisite textiles meticulously crafted by master artisans whose families had faithfully served the royal household for countless generations. Each delicate thread was a testament to the pinnacle of Egyptian artistry and bore witness to the vast, intricate trade networks that brought the most exquisite materials from every corner of the known world. The chamber itself served as a powerful testament to the absolute authority of its sole occupant. Its walls were lavishly adorned with painted reliefs, meticulously telling epic stories of divine favor and glorious military triumphs, while golden fixtures caught and exquisitely reflected the gentle, flickering light of oil lamps that burned ceaselessly throughout the night. The very air was subtly perfumed with the rich fragrance of imported incense, frankincense from the fabled land of Punt mingling with myrrh from distant shores, creating an atmosphere that spoke volumes of a power extending far beyond Egypt's geographical borders. As full consciousness gradually returned to the royal mind, Ramses became acutely aware of the familiar symphony of sounds that invariably heralded the dawn of another consequential day in his sprawling empire. From beyond the formidable palace walls came the soft, distant murmur of a city slowly rousing itself from sleep. There were the distinct calls of merchants meticulously preparing their wares for the day's trade, the gentle lowing of cattle being guided to pasture, and the rhythmic splash of oars as fishermen embarked on their vital work upon the sacred river that was the very lifeblood of all Egypt. A soft, deferential knock at the chamber door announced the arrival of the royal attendants, men whose families had honorably served the pharaonic line since the distinguished reign of his revered grandfather. These were not simply servants. They were trusted officials, their unwavering discretion and profound competence having been meticulously proven across decades of faithful and dedicated service. They entered the chamber with the practiced, almost reverent silence of those who deeply understood that even the awakening of a living god-king demanded nothing less than the most careful and precise orchestration. The morning ritual commenced, just as it had, steadfast and unwavering, for nearly 2 decades of Ramses' illustrious reign. Warm water, delicately infused with rare aromatic oils, was brought forth in shimmering golden vessels, while soft, impeccably woven linen towels lay waiting nearby. The pharaoh's body, still commanding and powerful despite his advancing years, bore the subtle, indelible marks of a life richly lived in both profound luxury and decisive action. Scars, etched from his youthful military campaigns, served as poignant reminders of hard-fought battles in Syria and Nubia, while his hands, though softened by royal unctions, still retained the faint calluses that eloquently spoke of a ruler who had, in his prime, personally wielded both sword and bow. As the devoted attendants meticulously assisted with the morning ablutions, Ramses' keen mind naturally gravitated towards the myriad responsibilities that awaited him throughout the day. Reports lay poised for his attention, streaming in from governors across the vast expanse of the empire. Dispatches arrived from military commanders strategically stationed along distant, often volatile frontiers, and numerous requests for royal judgment on matters both grand in scale and seemingly insignificant in scope awaited his discerning wisdom. Each pronouncement, each decision he was about to render, would ripple outward through a realm that stretched majestically from Nubia in the distant south to the Euphrates in the north, profoundly affecting the lives of millions in ways both immediate and enduring. The elaborate process of dressing a pharaoh encompassed far more than the mere donning of simple clothing. Every single garment carried profound symbolic weight, and each accessory meticulously reinforced his divine authority. The final appearance had to project that perfect, delicate balance of approachable humanity and awe-inspiring majesty that was the hallmark of successful kingship. The royal kilt, meticulously pleated with almost mathematical precision, was secured by a golden belt whose intricate clasp proudly bore the cartouche that proclaimed his sacred, divine names to all who beheld it. The ceremonial beard, that distinctive and revered symbol of pharaonic authority, was then carefully attached and precisely adjusted. Crafted from precious materials by the hands of master artisans, it transformed the man into the living embodiment of divine kingship that his devoted subjects eagerly anticipated encountering. The entire process was almost meditative in its precise execution, with each element contributing to a profound transformation that occurred not merely in physical appearance but, crucially, in the very consciousness of the wearer. The royal crown, too, presented its own intricate complexities. Today's demanding schedule called for the blue crown of war, a potent symbol that unequivocally spoke of military authority and the pharaoh's supreme power over Egypt's formidable enemies. Its weight, both physical and profoundly symbolic, settled onto the pharaoh's head with a familiar and deeply ingrained authority. This was not merely ornamental headgear. It was a sacred object, a tangible link that connected its wearer to the divine forces that governed the cosmos itself and maintained the delicate, crucial balance between order and chaos. As the final, magnificent elements of royal regalia meticulously fell into their appointed places, Ramses II underwent the daily, profound transformation from mortal man to pharaoh, from an individual to an institution, from a mere mortal being to a living god. This intricate process was so deeply ingrained, so perfected after decades of constant repetition, that it occurred almost without conscious thought. Yet, its profound significance never once diminished. Each morning brought this sacred rebirth, this renewed and unwavering commitment to the truly awesome responsibilities of absolute power. The very first formal duty of each day involved receiving comprehensive reports from the night watch commanders, men who had vigilantly maintained security throughout the sprawling royal compound and the bustling capital city beyond its walls. These men approached the pharaoh with the careful, ingrained deference due to divine authority, their reports delivered in the precise, unambiguous language of military protocol that left no room whatsoever for ambiguity or misunderstanding. Great Lord of the Two Lands, the senior commander began, employing one of the many venerable titles that profoundly acknowledged Ramses' supreme authority over both Upper and Lower Egypt. The night has passed in peace. The borders remain secure. The granaries are well guarded, and the sacred precincts of the temple show no signs of disturbance. Such reports might appear routine on the surface, yet they represented the indispensable foundation upon which all other royal activities meticulously depended. An empire of Ramses' immense size and complexity faced constant, multifaceted challenges, from external enemies ever at its borders, from potential internal dissent brewing within, and from the sheer logistical complexities of governing millions of people spread across such vast distances. The pharaoh's day simply could not begin until he was absolutely assured that the basic, essential framework of order and security remained entirely intact. The morning meal, partaken in a private dining chamber offering serene views of the palace gardens, provided both essential sustenance and a valuable opportunity for informal consultation with his most trusted advisors. The food itself served as a delicious reflection of Egypt's incredible abundance under competent and prosperous rule. Fresh bread, still delightfully warm from the royal bakeries, accompanied golden honey collected from hives meticulously maintained within the very palace grounds. Sweet fruits, gathered from trees lovingly planted by previous pharaohs, provided a delightful accompaniment to dishes prepared by cooks whose culinary skills had been refined through generations of devoted royal service. During this intimate meal, the pharaoh received concise briefings on matters demanding immediate attention. A delicate dispute between rival temple priests in Memphis required his royal arbitration. Reports from the rich Nubian gold mines suggested production levels that significantly exceeded expectations, promising increased wealth for his ambitious royal building projects. Crucially, messages from vassal kings in Syria sought his sagacious guidance on how to skillfully navigate Hittite diplomatic overtures that might, in fact, mask underlying military preparations. Each complex issue presented its own unique complexities, its own distinct opportunities for either resounding success or potential failure. The pharaoh's responses would be meticulously recorded by royal scribes, copied diligently by teams of clerks, and swiftly dispatched throughout the empire by couriers whose legendary speed ensured that the royal will became reality across thousands of miles. The sheer weight of such immense responsibility might undoubtedly overwhelm a lesser man. But Ramses, through decades of dedicated training and experience, had learned to process vast quantities of information with remarkable speed and decisive clarity. As the morning meal gracefully concluded, preparations began in earnest for the first major ceremony of the day. The pharaoh was scheduled to appear before his illustrious court, that august assembly of high officials, revered priests, foreign ambassadors, and humble petitioners who gathered daily to witness the direct exercise of royal authority. This public appearance served multiple crucial purposes. It unequivocally demonstrated the pharaoh's robust health and enduring vitality, provided a vital opportunity for the formal administration of justice, and powerfully reinforced the divine nature of royal power through elaborate, meticulously choreographed ritual and sacred ceremony. The magnificent throne room of Pyramus represented the architectural pinnacle of Egyptian royal design. Massive, imposing columns, richly carved with intricate reliefs depicting the pharaoh's glorious victories and his profound divine connections, supported a soaring ceiling painted with shimmering stars and celestial symbols that reminded all present of the cosmic significance of royal authority. The throne itself, a masterpiece crafted from precious woods and lavishly inlaid with gleaming gold and rare precious stones, sat majestically elevated above the assembled court, ensuring that the pharaoh literally and figuratively towered over his subjects. As Ramses took his rightful place upon this magnificent seat, the transformation from private individual to public institution reached its profound completion. The man who, moments before, had shared intimate conversation with his trusted advisors, now became the living embodiment of divine order, the very focal point around which the entire Egyptian cosmos seemingly revolved. His every gesture carried immense weight, his every uttered word became immediate law, and his very presence served as a powerful, constant reminder of the gods' continued, unwavering favor toward Egypt and its cherished people. The first petitioners of the day approached with the careful, ingrained protocols that governed all interaction with such divine authority. Their cases represented the full, diverse spectrum of human experience within the pharaoh's vast domain. A diligent merchant sought royal protection for a perilous trading expedition to the distant land of Punt. A provincial governor urgently requested additional troops to effectively deal with Bedouin raiders threatening crucial desert trade routes. A group of distressed farmers appealed for much-needed tax relief following unusually low flood levels that had severely reduced their harvest yields. Each unique case demanded careful, nuanced consideration, requiring him to weigh immediate needs against potential long-term consequences, balancing competing interests while diligently maintaining the overall stability and enduring prosperity of the entire realm. The pharaoh's meticulously considered decisions would be recorded and studied, thereby creating invaluable precedents that would guide future judgments and significantly contributing to the rich legal traditions that helped maintain order throughout the sprawling empire. Between these formal proceedings, a steady stream of messengers arrived, bearing urgent news from across the empire that demanded immediate royal attention. A courier, weary from his journey from the southern fortress of Aswan, brought word that Nubian chieftains were gathering in unusually large numbers near the Second Cataract. Their intentions were unclear but potentially threatening to the crucial gold mining operations that funded so much of Egypt's magnificent building projects. Another messenger, covered in dust from his swift journey across the unforgiving Sinai, delivered reports from Gaza indicating that Hittite diplomatic envoys had been observed meeting with local Canaanite princes, possibly attempting to forge dangerous alliances that could directly challenge Egyptian dominance in the Levant. The pharaoh listened to each report with the practiced, acute attention of a ruler who had learned, through hard-won experience, that even the smallest details could herald the greatest changes. His questions were piercingly precise, revealing a mind that grasped not merely the immediate implications of each situation, but the intricate, complex web of cause and effect that connected seemingly disparate events across his vast domain. When did these gatherings begin? What tribute schedules might be affected? Which military units are currently positioned to respond if circumstances require intervention? As the morning court session continued its steady course, the throne room gradually filled with the subtle, purposeful sounds that invariably accompanied the exercise of absolute power. There was the soft scratch of reed pens as royal scribes diligently recorded every decision and solemn pronouncement. The hushed, whispered consultations between trusted advisers as they meticulously prepared briefings on complex legal precedents. And the gentle clink of gold ornaments as high officials subtly shifted their positions during the lengthy, often arduous proceedings. These myriad sounds together created a rich backdrop of purposeful activity that powerfully reinforced the impression of a colossal empire functioning efficiently and harmoniously under exceptionally competent leadership. The pharaoh's own bearing during these sessions reflected decades of accumulated experience in skillfully managing the delicate balance between accessibility and majesty, a balance that truly effective rule unequivocally demands. His responses to petitioners consistently demonstrated genuine concern for his subjects' welfare, while his incisive questions revealed a comprehensive, nuanced understanding of the intricate administrative and economic systems that ensured Egypt's enduring prosperity. When, for instance, a delegation of temple priests requested additional funding for restoration work at Karnak, his immediate inquiry about current grain reserves and projected tax revenues instantly showcased a mind that instinctively connected profound religious obligations with practical, immutable fiscal realities. A particularly complex case involved a protracted boundary dispute between two powerful families whose ancestral lands bordered the sacred lake at Memphis. Both claimants presented carefully prepared arguments, meticulously supported by property documents dating back several generations, while their respective advocates cited legal precedents and invoked divine authority to bolster their positions. The pharaoh listened patiently and intently as each side presented its voluminous evidence, occasionally interjecting with questions that vividly revealed his detailed knowledge of both property law and the specific, nuanced geography involved in the dispute. The resolution, when it finally came, powerfully demonstrated the profound wisdom that had elevated Ramses II to the pantheon of Egypt's most respected rulers. Rather than simply favoring one claimant over another, he proposed an ingenious solution that meticulously preserved both families' honor while simultaneously ensuring that the disputed land served broader imperial interests. The boundary would be adjusted to create a protective buffer zone around the sacred lake, with both families receiving fair compensation from royal lands elsewhere. This judicious decision not only satisfied the immediate dispute but also established a crucial precedent that would safeguard religious sites from future commercial encroachment. As the formal court session gracefully concluded, the pharaoh retired briefly to his private study, a quiet chamber lined with countless papyrus scrolls containing the accumulated wisdom of Egyptian administration. Here, surrounded by records of pivotal treaty negotiations, intricate building project specifications, and extensive correspondence with rulers from across the ancient world, he meticulously reviewed the afternoon's demanding agenda with his closest and most trusted advisors. These astute men, chosen for their proven competence rather than their noble birth, provided the detailed knowledge and careful analysis that were indispensable in informing royal decision-making. The afternoon ushered in a distinct rhythm to the pharaoh's day. While the morning hours were intensely focused on immediate administrative needs and critical judicial responsibilities, the later hours typically involved more expansive, long-term planning and the ceremonial duties that were essential for reinforcing royal authority throughout all strata of Egyptian society. Today's demanding schedule included a thorough inspection of the construction progress at the magnificent Great Temple complex being erected in his honor, followed by crucial meetings with foreign ambassadors whose very presence in Pyramus unmistakably reflected Egypt's central and indispensable role in ancient Near Eastern diplomacy. The journey to the temple construction site provided a valuable opportunity to observe the vibrant tapestry of daily life within the royal capital. The pharaoh's grand procession moved gracefully through bustling streets lined with workshops where skilled craftsmen created the exquisite goods that made Egyptian civilization renowned throughout the known world. Potters deftly shaped elegant vessels whose refined forms would eventually grace tables from distant Nubia to faraway Mesopotamia. Jewelers meticulously worked precious metals into stunning ornaments that artfully combined unparalleled artistic beauty with profound symbolic meaning. Textile workers produced luxurious fabrics whose exceptional quality surpassed anything available elsewhere in the ancient world. The diverse people lining these vibrant streets represented the very human foundation of Egyptian greatness. There were the diligent farmers whose careful cultivation of the fertile Nile Valley soil produced the abundant agricultural surplus that so vitally supported urban civilization. The adventurous merchants whose far-flung trading expeditions brought exotic goods and foreign wealth flowing into Egyptian coffers. The gifted artisans whose extraordinary skills created the awe-inspiring monuments and precious artifacts that would preserve Ramses' memory for countless millennia. And the devout priests whose sacred rituals meticulously maintained the divine favor so essential to continued prosperity. Their varied reactions to the pharaoh's magnificent passage vividly revealed the complex, multifaceted relationship between ruler and subjects that so uniquely characterized successful ancient kingdoms. A respectful acknowledgement of royal authority seamlessly combined with genuine affection for a leader whose wise and effective policies had ushered in an era of profound peace and widespread prosperity. Children waved excitedly and enthusiastically at the colorful procession, while their parents offered the traditional, solemn gestures of submission and unwavering loyalty. Shopkeepers, momentarily pausing in their industrious work, would look up with reverence. Engaged in their daily routines, paused to witness the unfolding grandeur of divine authority manifesting within their very neighborhood. At the bustling temple construction site, the pharaoh observes a meticulously orchestrated scene of controlled chaos, a powerful testament to one of humanity's most extraordinary organizational achievements. Here, hundreds of workers, ranging from highly skilled stone carvers to the most basic laborers, meticulously coordinate their immense efforts under the seasoned direction of master builders. These revered figures possess a profound knowledge that seamlessly integrates both advanced practical engineering and intricate sacred geometry. The colossal stones being painstakingly shaped and precisely positioned are destined to endure for millennia, serving as an everlasting testament to both the boundless scope of royal ambition and the unparalleled depth of Egyptian technical mastery. The pharaoh's discerning inspection tour throughout the site readily reveals his exceptionally detailed understanding of both profound architectural principles and sophisticated construction techniques. His penetrating questions concerning foundation depth, the intrinsic quality of the stone, and the integrity of structural supports unequivocally demonstrate knowledge acquired through his direct and personal involvement in countless building projects undertaken throughout his extensive reign. When he proposes nuanced modifications to the planned decoration scheme, his recommendations eloquently reflect both a refined aesthetic sensibility and a deep awareness of the powerful symbolic messages that architectural elements are designed to convey to future generations. In turn, the master builder's comprehensive explanations illuminate the meticulous and careful planning inherently required for undertakings of such monumental magnitude. Indeed, The intricate quarrying operations in distant Aswan must be impeccably coordinated with precise river transport schedules to guarantee the steady and uninterrupted delivery of essential materials. Highly skilled craftsmen must be rigorously recruited and extensively trained for the specialized and intricate tasks that often demand years of dedicated effort to master. Furthermore, vast supply chains, stretching across the entirety of the sprawling empire, must function with impeccable smoothness to consistently provide the myriad tools, sustenance, and raw materials essential to sustain thousands of dedicated workers over many decades of continuous construction. As the afternoon shadows gracefully lengthen across the expansive construction site, the pharaoh prepares to make his stately return to the palace for his next crucial appointment. A distinguished assembly of foreign ambassadors, patiently awaiting his attention, represents a diverse array of powerful kingdoms and vibrant city-states from across the entire ancient Near East. Their collective presence in Pyramus serves as a vivid reflection of Egypt's undeniable position as the preeminent, dominant power in regional affairs. These intricate diplomatic encounters necessitate a delicate and careful balance. They must powerfully demonstrate undeniable Egyptian strength while simultaneously maintaining the cooperative relationships that are absolutely essential for flourishing trade and robust security. The Grand Audience Chamber, specifically chosen for these vital meetings, inherently projects an appropriate magnificence and gravitas, all while ingeniously facilitating the detailed and often nuanced negotiations that uniquely characterize ancient diplomacy. The chamber's imposing walls, richly decorated with vivid scenes of Egyptian military victories, subtly yet powerfully provide reminders of the dire consequences that inevitably await hostile actions. Simultaneously, the carefully arranged seating and strict protocol are meticulously designed to allow foreign representatives to preserve their inherent dignity, even as they implicitly acknowledge and bow to Egyptian supremacy. The very first ambassador permitted to approach the exalted throne represents the formidable Hittite Empire, historically Egypt's most formidable rival and, more recently, an unprecedented partner in a transformative peace treaty that has utterly reshaped the balance of power across the entire ancient world. His carefully rehearsed words carry the immense weight of complex negotiations that commenced years prior and continue to profoundly shape the intricate relationships between these two greatest powers of the age. The tribute he presents, a collection of exquisite silver vessels meticulously crafted by master Hittite artisans, symbolizes not abject submission, but rather a profound mutual respect between equals who have consciously chosen cooperation over the futility of endless warfare. Ramses II receives these significant offerings with the measured dignity and keen diplomatic insight that such an occasion demands. His responses are meticulously calibrated to acknowledge the formidable Hittite strength while, at all times, subtly reaffirming Egyptian precedents. The ensuing conversation quickly transcends formal pleasantries, moving swiftly to address the pragmatic and pressing matters of trade regulation, comprehensive border security, and the intricate prisoner exchange agreements that still linger from their previous conflicts. Each delicate point demands meticulous and careful consideration, as the decisions made today will undeniably influence these crucial relationships for generations yet to come. The golden afternoon light, streaming through the palace's high windows, exquisitely illuminates the intricate and often delicate dance of ancient diplomacy as additional ambassadors from across the known world step forward to present their credentials and articulate their varied concerns. A significant delegation from the Mesopotamian city-states, for instance, earnestly seeks Egyptian mediation in complex disputes over vital river rights that acutely threaten regional stability. Representatives arriving from influential Mediterranean trading centers urgently request protection for their merchant vessels operating in waters where opportunistic pirates have become increasingly bold and audacious. Simultaneously, esteemed envoys from prosperous African kingdoms beyond the southern cataracts offer a wealth of exotic goods in exchange for superior Egyptian manufactured items and invaluable technical expertise. Each successive diplomatic encounter vividly reveals a distinct facet of Egypt's truly central and indispensable role in ancient international relations. The pharaoh's astute responses consistently demonstrate a comprehensive and profound knowledge of regional politics, complex trade patterns, and formidable military capabilities that extends far beyond Egypt's immediate borders. His astonishing memory for minute details profoundly impresses even the most experienced diplomats, as he effortlessly recalls specific provisions from treaties negotiated many years earlier and readily references personal conversations with rulers he has never physically met, but knows intimately through extensive correspondence exchanged between formal audiences. Furthermore, his cadre of trusted advisors diligently provide updates on vital intelligence gathered through Egypt's extensive and sophisticated network of informants and allies. Intelligence reports emanating from key Syrian cities meticulously describe Assyrian military movements that may well signal renewed and aggressive imperial ambitions in the northern territories. Urgent messages from vital trading partners along the Red Sea coast issue stark warnings of escalating tribal unrest that could severely threaten the invaluable and precious incense routes. Diplomatic correspondence from the strategic island of Cyprus reveals growing concerns about increasingly rampant piracy that significantly affects vital commerce throughout the eastern Mediterranean. The pharaoh processes this vast array of information with the sharp analytical skill of a truly sagacious ruler, one who profoundly understands that successful governance demands constant and vigilant attention to developments extending far beyond immediate national borders. His incisive questions invariably probe beneath superficial events to identify crucial underlying trends and anticipate potential threats. Are these reported Assyrian movements merely routine military exercises, or are they, in fact, preparations for actual, aggressive campaigns? Do the reported tribal gatherings genuinely represent benign seasonal migration patterns, or do they signify organized resistance forming against Egyptian influence? Can astute diplomatic pressure effectively resolve the burgeoning piracy problem, or will direct military intervention ultimately become necessary? As evening gradually approaches, the rigorous pace of formal audiences begins to perceptibly slow, allowing the pharaoh valuable time for private consultations that frequently prove far more significant and impactful than the public ceremonies themselves. In a smaller, more discreet chamber, specifically reserved for confidential and sensitive discussions, the pharaoh convenes with his esteemed intelligence chief. This individual commands an intricate network of agents spanning throughout the entire known world, and his meticulously compiled reports provide the granular and detailed information absolutely essential for truly informed decision-making. Tonight's crucial briefing covers a range of critical developments that demand immediate attention and meticulous strategic planning. Formidable Hittite military units have been recently observed conducting unusual training exercises near the sensitive Syrian border, quite possibly testing new tactical approaches or preparing for potential operations against rebellious vassal states. Meanwhile, Nubian gold production continues to significantly exceed expectations, generously providing abundant resources for expanded building projects, yet concurrently attracting unwanted and increasingly brazen attention from opportunistic raiders seeking to disrupt these vital mining operations. Concurrent Mediterranean trading reports suggest that recent technological developments in metalwork and advanced shipbuilding may be subtly shifting commercial advantages toward kingdoms that have traditionally held a secondary, rather than primary, position of power. The pharaoh's nuanced responses to these comprehensive reports vividly reveal his strategic thinking, which profoundly encompasses both immediate tactical concerns and expansive long-term imperial planning. He promptly authorizes additional intelligence gathering regarding these evolving Hittite activities, while stringently ensuring that any Egyptian responses remain strictly within the established bounds of their existing peace treaty. He grants his decisive approval for the reinforcement of Nubian garrison forces, but emphatically emphasizes that these protection measures must, under no circumstances, disrupt the crucial mining operations they are specifically meant to secure and safeguard. He further directs his astute trade officials to thoroughly investigate these emerging new technologies and meticulously assess their potential impact on maintaining Egyptian commercial dominance. The evening meal, a welcome tradition, provides a rare opportunity for both relaxation and informal conversation with cherished family members, whose comforting presence offers a much-needed respite from the constant and weighty demands of imperial responsibility. Queen Nefertari, whose legendary beauty and keen intelligence have made her an iconic figure renowned throughout the ancient world, gracefully shares news from the royal household and offers astute observations about court politics that admirably complement the pharaoh's more official briefings. Her penetrating insights into the intricate motivations and often unspoken concerns of noblewomen frequently reveal critically important information regarding factional loyalties and potential sources of internal conflict. The royal children, now grown into capable adults with their own significant responsibilities within the imperial administration, diligently contribute their unique perspectives on issues affecting their respective areas of authority. Crown Prince Ammonius Herkhotshef, Amenhotep, for instance, provides a detailed report on the rigorous military training programs specifically designed to maintain unwavering Egyptian battlefield superiority. Prince Ramses discusses proposed administrative reforms that could significantly improve the efficiency of provincial governance. Princess Bintunath describes her meticulous oversight of extensive textile production facilities that not only generate significant export revenue but also provide dignified employment for thousands of skilled workers. These intimate family conversations vividly reveal the personal, human side of absolute power, eloquently illustrating how royal relationships seamlessly blend deep, intimate affection with pragmatic political calculation. The pharaoh's insightful questions regarding his children's diverse activities demonstrate a genuine paternal interest, while simultaneously ensuring that all royal family members remain strategically aligned with overarching imperial objectives. Their comprehensive reports consistently provide valuable information concerning administrative effectiveness and highlight potential challenges or problems. Moreover, their very presence serves as a poignant reminder to him of the dynasty's enduring future and the paramount importance of meticulously maintaining stability for all subsequent generations. As deepening darkness gracefully settles over Pyramus, the pharaoh thoughtfully retires to his private chambers for the final activities of another remarkably demanding day in the extraordinary life of ancient Egypt's greatest ruler. The evening's extensive correspondence includes urgent messages from distant governors requiring specific royal guidance, detailed reports from vigilant military commanders strategically stationed along frontier regions, and even personal letters from allied rulers scattered throughout the vast ancient Near East. Each and every document receives the pharaoh's meticulous and careful attention, as his subsequent responses will undoubtedly influence events across immense distances and profoundly affect countless lives. The precise and systematic process of dictating replies clearly reveals the methodical and highly disciplined approach that has distinguished Ramses II as one of history's most effective and celebrated administrators. His carefully crafted instructions to provincial governors skillfully balance centralized authority with a necessary degree of local autonomy, providing clear strategic guidance while simultaneously allowing essential flexibility for diverse regional circumstances. His communications with military commanders unfailingly demonstrate a highly detailed understanding of complex tactical situations, all while consistently emphasizing strategic objectives that serve broader imperial interests. Furthermore, his diplomatic letters to foreign rulers unfailingly maintain the delicate balance between fostering friendly cooperation and employing subtle, yet effective, intimidation that so uniquely characterizes successful ancient diplomacy. Between these dictation sessions, the pharaoh thoughtfully reviews intricate architectural plans for future building projects, each designed to further enhance Egypt's enduring reputation for monumental and awe-inspiring construction. The meticulously proposed additions to the Karnak temple complex require not only careful and harmonious integration with existing venerable structures but also the brilliant incorporation of new decorative elements that gloriously celebrate recent military victories and significant diplomatic achievements. Concurrently, plans for expanded harbor facilities at Memphis must deftly accommodate ever-increasing commercial traffic while rigorously maintaining stringent security against potential enemy infiltration. Crucially, these grand construction projects represent far more than mere building activities. They serve as vital employment programs that provide dignified work for thousands of skilled craftsmen, invaluable training opportunities for younger artisans, and tangible, visible demonstrations of sustained Egyptian prosperity and unparalleled technical capability. The pharaoh's profound attention to even the minutest design details eloquently reflects his deep understanding that these magnificent monuments will undeniably influence Egypt's enduring reputation for centuries after their completion, thus demanding unparalleled standards of excellence that far surpass anything ever attempted by rival kingdoms. The day's final, yet equally crucial, administrative task involves meticulously reviewing comprehensive financial reports that precisely detail the empire's current economic condition and meticulously outline critical resource allocation priorities. Meticulous tax collection figures gathered from the empire's various provinces generally indicate overall widespread prosperity, while simultaneously revealing subtle regional variations that warrant immediate attention and potential intervention. Detailed military expenditure accounts clearly delineate the substantial costs of maintaining formidable Egyptian dominance, while also prudently suggesting specific areas where efficiency improvements might strategically reduce expenses without in any way compromising national security. Elaborate building project budgets eloquently demonstrate the careful and sophisticated financial planning inherently required to successfully sustain multiple immense construction efforts simultaneously. These critical economic considerations profoundly influence every single aspect of royal policy, as the pharaoh must deftly balance competing demands for inherently limited resources while simultaneously maintaining the indispensable level of expenditure necessary to preserve and enhance Egyptian superiority. Consequently, the empire's formidable military forces continually require constant and substantial funding for state-of-the-art equipment, rigorous training, and ongoing operational expenses. Similarly, monumental building projects demand enormous, sustained investments in precious materials, vast skilled labor, and complex transportation logistics. Furthermore, the extensive administrative operations consume truly significant resources, allocated for the salaries of thousands of diligent officials and for the complex infrastructure absolutely necessary for effectively governing a vast and sprawling empire. As midnight quietly approaches, Ramses II prepares for sleep with the same meticulous and careful attention to ritual and profound symbolism that uniquely characterizes every aspect of pharaonic existence. The ceremonial process of carefully removing his opulent royal regalia and gradually returning to the quietude of private humanity provides Ramses II a daily opportunity for profound reflection on both the immense burdens and extraordinary privileges of absolute power. Tomorrow, he knows, will undoubtedly bring forth new challenges and unforeseen opportunities, each requiring fresh and astute applications of the immense wisdom and accumulated experience garnered over decades of successful and often arduous rule. The grand chamber consequently falls quiet, save for the gentle, murmuring sounds of a great city gradually settling into its well-deserved rest. Beyond the majestic palace walls, millions of his loyal subjects sleep peacefully and securely, enveloped by the unwavering protection of Egyptian military might and the efficient embrace of its administrative competence. Along distant, strategically important frontiers, vigilant garrison forces steadfastly maintain their unwavering watch against all potential enemies. And throughout the vast and intricate empire, countless diligent officials and dedicated administrators prepare themselves for yet another day of meticulously implementing royal policies and diligently maintaining the complex, interconnected systems that ensure Egyptian civilization functions seamlessly and smoothly. The pharaoh's final, profound thoughts before drifting into sleep often turn to the immense and solemn responsibility of governing so many diverse lives and meticulously managing such vast and sprawling territories. He understands that every single decision he makes profoundly affects countless individuals. Every carefully crafted policy inexorably influences entire regions. And every deliberate action contributes directly to the enduring historical legacy that will define his magnificent reign for all future generations. The monumental weight of such immense responsibility might utterly overwhelm a lesser individual. But Ramses II has long since learned to find profound satisfaction in the successful and judicious exercise of his absolute power, and in the deeply fulfilling knowledge that his tireless efforts contribute directly and significantly to the enduring greatness of Egypt. Sleep comes gradually and serenely to the royal mind, gently bringing forth vivid dreams that seamlessly blend cherished memories of past achievements with inspiring visions of future accomplishments. In these nocturnal visions, the pharaoh vividly perceives completed temples of breathtaking grandeur that will proudly stand for millennia, successful military campaigns that will extend Egyptian influence even further across distant lands, and the cultivation of peaceful and prosperous relations with foreign powers that will steadfastly ensure continued abundance and prosperity for his beloved people. Such powerful dreams provide both rejuvenating rest and profound inspiration, meticulously preparing the royal mind for another demanding day filled with the intricate challenges and boundless opportunities that truly define life at the pinnacle of ancient power. The night passes peacefully and quietly over Pyramus, while throughout the vast and intricate empire, the complex systems and robust institutions that Ramses II has meticulously built continue their tireless and essential work of maintaining profound order, sustained prosperity, and unwavering security for what is undeniably the greatest civilization the world has yet known. As a glorious new dawn majestically breaks over the timeless Nile Valley, the great river beautifully reflects the first golden rays of sunlight, while its gentle, life-giving currents carry forth the eternal rhythm that has sustained Egyptian civilization for countless generations. Within the grand royal palace, Ramses II awakens to the promise of another day, one that will undeniably demand every ounce of his legendary wisdom, strategic acumen, and unparalleled administrative genius. The soft morning breeze gently carries the familiar and comforting scent of fragrant lotus blossoms from the meticulously tended palace gardens, and the inviting aroma of freshly baked bread from the bustling royal kitchens. These seemingly simple, yet profoundly grounding pleasures, immerse the pharaoh in sensory experiences that intimately connect him to his inherent humanity, even as the immense and sacred weight of divine kingship settles upon his broad shoulders once more. The swift transition from the tranquility of sleep to full consciousness immediately brings with it a sharp awareness of the day's pressing concerns, as his agile mind automatically catalogues the myriad decisions awaiting his sovereign attention and the complex, intricate web of relationships requiring meticulous and careful management. Soon, the royal barbers respectfully arrive, carrying their specialized implements meticulously crafted from the finest polished bronze and gleaming obsidian. Their movements are executed with absolute precision, honed over decades of dedicated attendance to pharaonic grooming needs. The ritualistic process of meticulously shaping the royal beard and expertly trimming the hair, destined to be concealed beneath ornate crowns and ceremonial headdresses, demands absolute perfection. Any perceived imperfection in the pharaoh's sacred appearance could, after all, be devastatingly interpreted as an ominous sign of divine disfavor or portend a grave imperial decline. While receiving this highly personal and ritualistic attention, Ramses II intently listens to the morning reports delivered by his most trusted and discerning advisors. The night's comprehensive intelligence briefings, in particular, reveal critical developments that demand immediate consideration. For instance, a merchant caravan, having just returned from the mysterious and distant land of Punt, has brought disturbing news of significant tribal movements in the volatile Red Sea region that could severely threaten the invaluable and historically vital incense trade routes. Furthermore, the Hittite ambassador has urgently requested a private audience to discuss a series of escalating border incidents involving Egyptian vassal states in northern Syria. Perhaps most concerning of all, recent reports emanating from the prosperous Nubian gold mines suggest that their increased production has inevitably attracted unwelcome attention from marauding desert raiders, whose increasingly bold and organized attacks are becoming both more frequent and significantly better coordinated. Each new piece of intelligence adds another intricate layer to the complex and ever-evolving strategic puzzle that profoundly defines imperial governance in an ancient age when communication travels no faster than the swiftest horses can run, and military responses consequently require weeks or even months to effectively organize and execute. The pharaoh's incisive questions invariably reveal a mind that instinctively grasps the intricate interconnections between seemingly unrelated events, demonstrating a deep understanding of how localized tribal unrest in one distant region can profoundly influence trade patterns hundreds of miles away, and how diplomatic tensions with major foreign powers can significantly affect the loyalty of even the most distant vassals. The morning meal gracefully unfolds in the opulent royal dining chamber, a space where magnificent tables, exquisitely inlaid with precious ivory and glittering stones, proudly support an array of lavish dishes. These culinary offerings eloquently represent the bounteous agricultural abundance of Egypt, a direct testament to the prosperity fostered under his competent and divine rule. Fresh, succulent figs and sweet dates, harvested directly from the palace orchards, accompany artisanal bread baked from grains whose superior quality undeniably surpasses anything remotely available to common citizens. The pharaoh's formidable appetite remains remarkably robust despite his advancing years, reflecting his enduring vitality. This robust physical vitality was not merely a personal attribute but a crucial expectation, as his subjects viewed it as a direct manifestation of divine favor and a guarantee of the kingdom's prosperity. It was during this essential morning meal that the pharaoh conducted his initial administrative duties, with senior officials offering comprehensive briefings on critical matters that demanded royal deliberation throughout the day. Among these, the high priest of Ammonius would typically seek the pharaoh's endorsement for proposed adjustments to the temple's ritual calendar, aiming to achieve a more precise synchronization of sacred ceremonies with the meticulous astronomical observations that underpinned their religious practices. The commander of the royal guard, for instance, might request authorization for an expanded recruitment drive, citing heightened security concerns following recent intelligence reports detailing potential assassination plots. Concurrently, the overseer of royal works would present updated schedules for the colossal building projects designed to immortalize the pharaoh's reign in enduring stone and gleaming gold. Each of these critical briefings necessitated careful consideration, balancing competing priorities against the constraints of limited resources. The pharaoh's insightful responses consistently demonstrated the acute analytical skills that had firmly established him as one of history's most effective administrators. When the high priest elucidated the intricate astronomical calculations underpinning his proposed calendar adjustments, Ramses II exhibited a profound understanding of celestial mechanics, a depth of knowledge that genuinely impressed even the seasoned temple scholars. Similarly, as the guard commander meticulously outlined his security concerns, the pharaoh's incisive questions revealed a detailed comprehension of both the palace's inherent vulnerabilities and the extensive intelligence networks diligently monitoring threats across the vast empire. The subsequent walk to the grandeur of the throne room offered a valuable opportunity to observe the intricate daily functioning of the royal household, the immense administrative machinery that supported the entirety of Egyptian imperial governance. Scribes bustled by, their arms laden with fragile papyrus scrolls containing vital correspondence from governors stationed across the far reaches of the empire. Master craftsmen carefully transported partially completed artifacts, exquisitely designed and destined either as prestigious diplomatic gifts or for sacred religious ceremonies. Meanwhile, the industrious kitchen staff meticulously organized the elaborate meal preparations, essential for entertaining the esteemed foreign dignitaries whose very presence in Pyramus underscored Egypt's pivotal and central role in ancient international relations. The throne room itself was an awe-inspiring spectacle, a magnificent testament to both Egyptian artistic achievement and immense imperial wealth. Imposing columns, intricately carved with detailed reliefs depicting the pharaoh's divine connections and glorious military victories, soared upwards to support a celestial ceiling. This ceiling, adorned with luminous star charts, served as a constant and powerful reminder to all present of the cosmic significance inherent in royal authority. The very throne, a masterwork crafted from fragrant cedarwood imported from distant Lebanon and inlaid with shimmering gold laboriously mined in the remote lands of Nubia, symbolically represented the extensive geographical reach of Egyptian influence and the abundant tribute that continually flowed into the royal coffers from across the known world. As courtiers, high-ranking officials, and hopeful petitioners progressively gathered for the morning audience, their murmured conversations collectively generated a subtle yet pervasive buzz of activity, a clear reflection of the empire's perpetual and ongoing business. Provincial governors could be observed earnestly discussing tax collection strategies with astute treasury officials, while military commanders coordinated intricate supply arrangements for their vigilant frontier garrisons. Foreign merchants engaged in earnest negotiations, striving to secure favorable trading agreements with the pharaoh's royal commercial agents. These myriad interactions collectively represented the intricate human networks that seamlessly transformed royal policies and pronouncements into practical reality across vast distances and among diverse populations. The formal proceedings commenced punctually with time-honored acknowledgments of the pharaoh's inherent royal divinity and unparalleled imperial authority, rituals meticulously designed to reinforce the profoundly sacred nature of pharaonic power. Fragrant incense smoldered gently within exquisite golden braziers, its perfumed smoke rising as priests solemnly offered heartfelt prayers for continued divine favor and enduring imperial success. The archaic, ceremonial language reverently employed during these sacred rituals served as a vital bridge, connecting contemporary governance with the deep-rooted ancient traditions that legitimized royal authority through an undeniable association with the gods and the immutable cosmic order. The first major case brought before the pharaoh involved a complex inheritance dispute, a deeply divisive matter that had fractured a wealthy merchant family whose extensive business operations spanned multiple provinces. The competing claimants, each vying for a favorable outcome, presented elaborate arguments meticulously supported by authentic property documents, compelling witness testimonies, and intricate legal precedents stretching back several generations. Their eloquent advocates cited relevant laws and invoked profound religious principles, while their numerous supporters filled the audience chamber, their very presence serving to underscore the significant social ramifications of the impending royal decision. The pharaoh's masterful handling of this intricate case immediately revealed the exceptional judicial wisdom that had earned him profound respect throughout all strata of Egyptian society. Rather than merely applying existing legal formulas in a rigid manner, he meticulously examined the underlying circumstances that had initially created the dispute, diligently seeking innovative solutions that would both preserve delicate family relationships and simultaneously protect broader commercial interests crucial to the empire. His incisive questions skillfully probed the hidden motivations of the various parties involved, while his astute observations identified promising compromise possibilities that could potentially satisfy competing claims without inadvertently establishing dangerous precedents. The ultimate resolution powerfully demonstrated the creative problem-solving acumen that so characterized effective ancient governance. The disputed inheritance was ultimately decreed to be divided according to a carefully devised formula that judiciously recognized both traditional succession rights and demonstrated business competence. Furthermore, the family's expansive trading operations would be thoughtfully restructured to provide meaningful and productive roles for all legitimate claimants, concurrently ensuring the sustained profitability of the enterprise. Most importantly, this sagacious settlement established fundamental principles that would serve to guide similar cases in the future, thereby maintaining vital social stability among the influential merchant classes whose dynamic activities generated significant imperial revenues. Between these formal cases, urgent messengers continually arrived, bearing critical communications that demanded immediate royal attention. A swift courier from the southern border brought word that influential Nubian chieftains had dispatched diplomatic envoys, respectfully seeking an audience with the pharaoh to meticulously discuss territorial arrangements and ongoing tribute obligations. Another messenger, his steed lathered and weary from a relentless ride across arduous desert routes, delivered vital intelligence concerning recent Libyan tribal movements, which ominously suggested possible coordination with traditional enemies of Egyptian rule. The pharaoh's decisive responses to these pressing developments invariably reflected a sophisticated strategic thinking that encompassed both immediate tactical concerns and overarching, long-term imperial objectives. He readily authorized the Nubian diplomatic mission, ensuring, however, that all appropriate security precautions were rigorously implemented. Concurrently, he directed military commanders to closely monitor Libyan activities, but cautioned against taking any provocative actions that might needlessly precipitate unnecessary conflicts. His precise instructions clearly demonstrated the careful and nuanced balance between assertive strength and judicious restraint that so remarkably characterized successful imperial policy. The morning's judicial proceedings, in the meantime, continued with a diverse array of cases that eloquently illustrated the full spectrum of challenges confronting Egyptian society under Ramses' sagacious rule. For instance, a group of distressed farmers appealed for tax relief following localized flooding that had tragically destroyed their crops, despite otherwise favorable agricultural conditions prevailing throughout the fertile Nile Valley. Temple priests respectfully requested additional funding for urgent restoration work at sacred sites recently damaged by unforeseen earthquakes. Additionally, powerful artisan guilds sought royal intervention in contentious disputes with foreign competitors whose cheaper products were adversely affecting domestic markets and the livelihoods of local craftsmen. Each individual case meticulously required careful consideration of established precedents, the empire's available resources, and the myriad potential consequences that often extended far beyond the immediate parties involved. The pharaoh's profound decisions invariably revealed a comprehensive understanding of agricultural economics, intricate religious obligations, and nuanced commercial policy, reflecting decades of unparalleled experience in managing complex imperial systems. His astute judgments expertly balanced competing interests, while steadfastly maintaining the overall stability and prosperity that so robustly defined successful ancient governance. As midday approached, the formal audience drew to a close with the traditional, reverent ceremonies that powerfully reinforced royal authority and acknowledged divine favor. Offerings were solemnly presented to publicly acknowledge the pharaoh's boundless generosity and profound wisdom, while collective prayers earnestly requested continued blessings for the sprawling empire and its beloved people. These elaborate rituals served both profound religious and vital political purposes, seamlessly connecting contemporary governance with ancient traditions while simultaneously demonstrating the immense wealth and sophisticated organizational capabilities that sustained Egyptian dominance. The afternoon brought forth an entirely different set of challenges as the pharaoh skillfully shifted his prodigious attention from judicial responsibilities to administrative oversight and critical diplomatic activities. The royal study, a tranquil chamber meticulously lined with countless papyrus scrolls containing the accumulated wisdom of Egyptian governance, provided the perfect setting for detailed consultations with senior officials whose unparalleled expertise guided imperial policy across a remarkably diverse range of areas of responsibility. The Treasury Minister presented comprehensive financial reports that lucidly revealed both the empire's current economic strength and emerging fiscal challenges that necessitated careful management. Tax revenues consistently continued to exceed expectations in most provinces, clearly reflecting the robust economic prosperity that flowed directly from political stability and highly effective administration. However, increased military expenditures, necessitated by growing security concerns and the need for vigilance, were beginning to subtly strain budgets previously allocated for ambitious construction projects and vital social programs. The extensive discussion that ensued profoundly demonstrated the pharaoh's sophisticated understanding of intricate fiscal policy and strategic economic planning. His penetrating questions expertly probed the underlying factors driving revenue variations, while his sagacious suggestions for cost reduction reflected a deep knowledge of administrative inefficiencies and readily identifiable potential savings opportunities. The entire conversation revealed a mind that effortlessly grasped the complex, interdependent relationships between taxation, public spending, and economic growth, all critical elements that ultimately determined imperial sustainability over the long term. Military briefings occupied a significant portion of the afternoon, as vigilant commanders reported on crucial developments affecting Egyptian security interests throughout the expansive empire and beyond its borders. The frontier situation generally remained stable, yet unsettling intelligence reports suggested that potential enemies are testing Egyptian responses through increasingly bold incursions and calculated diplomatic provocations. The intricate challenge confronting the pharaoh lay in meticulously maintaining defensive readiness and an imposing posture without either appearing vulnerable or inadvertently triggering conflicts that possessed the potential to escalate dangerously beyond Egyptian control. The pharaoh's formidable military experience, honed through his personal participation in numerous arduous campaigns during his younger, more vigorous years, profoundly informed his astute analysis of strategic options and precise tactical requirements. His penetrating questions concerning troop deployments, complex supply arrangements, and robust communication systems invariably reflected an unparalleled understanding of the practical, ground-level factors that definitively determined military effectiveness. His strategic decisions masterfully balanced the critical need for overwhelming deterrent strength against the considerable economic costs of maintaining large, well-equipped forces in remote and often unproductive locations where they could not actively contribute to productive economic activities. Foreign policy discussions further revealed the complex and multifaceted diplomatic challenges confronting Egypt as the undisputed dominant power in ancient Near Eastern international relations. Recent, disquieting intelligence suggested that the formidable Hittite Empire, despite their formal peace treaty obligations, might be secretly encouraging various vassal states to brazenly challenge Egyptian authority in the strategically vital regions of Syria and Palestine. Simultaneously, ominous Assyrian military movements in northern Mesopotamia could potentially signal renewed imperial ambitions that severely threatened the delicate balance of power which had painstakingly maintained regional stability for generations. The pharaoh's astute approach to these formidable diplomatic challenges conspicuously demonstrated the strategic patience and sagacity that had consistently characterized his most successful foreign policy initiatives. Rather than reacting impulsively or responding immediately to provocations that were likely meticulously designed to draw Egypt into premature and potentially ruinous conflicts, he judiciously authorized enhanced intelligence-gathering efforts, all while publicly maintaining strict adherence to existing treaty obligations and projecting an image of calm authority. His precise instructions consistently emphasized the paramount importance of gathering comprehensive and accurate information regarding enemy intentions, all while meticulously preserving strategic flexibility for future, measured responses. The late afternoon audience with foreign ambassadors offered a crucial opportunity not only to reinforce established Egyptian diplomatic positions but also to discreetly gather invaluable intelligence regarding international developments that held the potential to profoundly affect imperial interests. The Mesopotamian envoys, for instance, respectfully presented lavish tribute offerings, a clear acknowledgement of Egyptian supremacy, while concurrently seeking firm assurances regarding trade route security and advantageous commercial privileges crucial to their own economies. Their carefully rehearsed presentations, though outwardly deferential, subtly revealed underlying concerns about nascent Assyrian expansion and its potential disruptive impact on long-established trading relationships across the region. The pharaoh's responses, delivered with regal composure, masterfully balanced diplomatic courtesy and genuine hospitality with subtle yet undeniable demonstrations of Egyptian power and unwavering determination. His encyclopedic knowledge of regional politics consistently impressed even the most seasoned foreign diplomats, while his unwavering promises of continued protection and patronage served to reassure anxious allies worried about shifting power balances. The generous gifts he thoughtfully bestowed in return were not merely tokens but potent symbols, representing Egyptian wealth, unparalleled artistic craftsmanship, and advanced manufacturing capabilities. Simultaneously, the meticulously negotiated terms of trade agreements consistently favored Egyptian commercial interests, yet were crafted with such finesse that they never appeared overtly exploitative. Representatives from various Mediterranean island kingdoms presented even more complex challenges, as they earnestly sought Egyptian support for organized resistance against an alarming increase in piracy, a pervasive threat jeopardizing maritime commerce throughout the entire Eastern Sea. Their urgent requests for formidable naval assistance had to be carefully balanced against overarching Egyptian priorities and undeniable resource limitations, while their strategic offers of tribute and formal alliance simultaneously created invaluable opportunities for expanding imperial influence into new and significant regions. The intricate diplomatic calculations inherently involved in these multifaceted negotiations vividly revealed the sophisticated strategic thinking that had firmly established Ramses II as one of history's most successful and enduring imperial rulers. His critical decisions had to meticulously consider immediate tactical advantages against overarching, long-term strategic objectives, all while precisely balancing the often prohibitive costs of potential military intervention against the tangible benefits of enhanced regional security and expanded imperial influence. These profound conversations consistently demonstrated his comprehensive understanding of naval warfare, intricate commercial economics, and the nuanced complexities of regional politics. As evening shadows perceptibly lengthened across the grand city of Pyramus, the pharaoh's indefatigable attention seamlessly turned to the equally significant cultural and religious responsibilities that occupied an increasingly prominent role in his demanding daily schedule. The crucial inspection of ongoing construction projects at the magnificent Great Temple complex provided an invaluable opportunity to meticulously monitor progress on the colossal monumental buildings that were destined to preserve his enduring memory for future generations, while simultaneously showcasing unparalleled Egyptian architectural and artistic supremacy to contemporary observers across the ancient world. Indeed, The sprawling construction site itself represented one of humanity's greatest organizational achievements. Thousands of skilled workers meticulously coordinated their prodigious efforts under the expert direction of master builders whose profound knowledge encompassed both practical engineering principles and the esoteric tenets of sacred geometry. The massive stones, painstakingly shaped and positioned according to precise mathematical calculations, would ultimately culminate in the creation of structures whose breathtaking beauty and enduring permanence would unequivocally surpass anything ever attempted by rival civilizations. The pharaoh's remarkably detailed knowledge of architectural principles and structural integrity became vividly apparent as he engaged in insightful discussions regarding design modifications with experienced project supervisors and meticulously examined the intricate stone carving work destined to elegantly decorate the interior chambers. His astute suggestions for subtle adjustments to planned decorative schemes reflected not only a refined aesthetic sensibility, but also a profound understanding of the powerful symbolic messages that architectural elements were inherently designed to convey to future generations. The legions of highly skilled craftsmen diligently working under his discerning direction truly represented the pinnacle of ancient artistic achievement and unparalleled technical mastery. The evening meal, a more intimate affair, provided a welcome respite from the day's ceaseless official responsibilities, concurrently offering a cherished opportunity for family conversations that gently revealed the deeply personal dimensions of imperial life. Queen Nefertari's graceful presence brought invaluable intelligence about intricate court social dynamics, information that perfectly complemented the pharaoh's more formal political briefings. While her sensitive observations concerning women's unique concerns often provided crucial perspectives frequently overlooked in predominantly masculine administrative circles, the royal children, now mature adults entrusted with their own significant governmental responsibilities, contributed vital insights about administrative effectiveness and potential emerging problems within their respective areas of authority. Prince Kanewazet's diligent oversight of religious institutions, for instance, provided invaluable and candid information regarding priestly attitudes and the complex finances of the vast temple network. Prince Merneptah's military commands, in turn, offered crucial perspectives on frontier security and the morale of the formidable army, effectively supplementing more formal intelligence reports. These intimate family discussions seamlessly blended genuine affection with shrewd political calculation, as personal relationships were artfully leveraged to serve broader dynastic objectives. The pharaoh's probing questions about his children's myriad activities demonstrated not only a genuine paternal interest, but also meticulously ensured that all key family members remained perfectly aligned with overarching imperial policies and goals. Their candid reports, therefore, often provided informal yet invaluable intelligence concerning administrative effectiveness and potential sources of nascent internal opposition. The evening's extensive correspondence regularly included urgent messages from distant provinces, each requiring specific royal guidance on local challenges that simply could not be effectively resolved through established administrative procedures alone. A governor in Upper Egypt, for example, might respectfully request permission to modify tax collection schedules to accommodate unusual flooding patterns that had regrettably delayed crucial harvest activities. Military commanders stationed along the vital Nubian frontier, in another instance, might seek authorization for sensitive diplomatic initiatives with influential tribal leaders whose cooperation held the potential to significantly reduce security costs while concurrently maintaining crucial regional stability. Each of these diverse communications necessitated careful consideration, weighing specific local circumstances against overarching imperial policies, all while meticulously maintaining consistency in royal decisions across the empire's remarkably diverse geographical and cultural environments. The pharaoh's judicious responses consistently demonstrated the exceptional administrative flexibility that had empowered Egyptian governance to adapt adeptly to ever-changing conditions, all while preserving an essential unity of purpose and an unyielding foundation of authority. Intelligence reports diligently received during evening briefings unveiled critical developments demanding immediate attention and necessitating long-term planning adjustments. Ominous Hittite military exercises near the Syrian border, for example, strongly suggested possible preparations for future operations against Egyptian vassal states, a disturbing prospect despite formal peace treaty obligations. Simultaneously, increased Libyan raiding activity along the western frontier regions indicated a troubling level of coordination that could gravely threaten major population centers if not addressed promptly and decisively. The pharaoh's incisive analysis of these unfolding intelligence developments profoundly reflected a sophisticated strategic thinking that comprehensively encompassed multiple potential scenarios and meticulously devised contingency planning for various possible outcomes. His penetrating questions concerning enemy capabilities and true intentions probed far beneath superficial events to astutely identify underlying trends and emergent potential threats. His precise instructions for comprehensive response preparations expertly balanced immediate tactical requirements against overarching, longer-term strategic objectives, all while rigorously maintaining the paramount operational security essential for successful military and diplomatic initiatives. As night gracefully settled over the bustling royal capital of Pyramus, Ramses II meticulously completed yet another demanding day of governing the ancient world's greatest and most powerful empire. This monumental task was achieved through the unwavering application of profound wisdom, invaluable experience, and unparalleled administrative competence, qualities that had consistently sustained Egyptian dominance for nearly 2 decades of his remarkable reign. The inevitable challenges facing tomorrow would undoubtedly require fresh, innovative applications of these very same inherent qualities. Attributes that had enabled his unprecedented success in skillfully managing the complex and immense responsibilities of absolute power in an age when communication traveled slowly across vast distances and formidable enemies perpetually gathered just beyond distant horizons. The pharaoh's final, reflective thoughts before succumbing to sleep often gravitated towards the enormous, almost unfathomable scope of his immense responsibilities and the indelible historical legacy that his myriad decisions would irrevocably forge for countless future generations. Indeed, every carefully crafted policy influenced the lives of countless individuals across vast, diverse territories, while every single action he undertook profoundly contributed to the lasting reputation that would ultimately define his extraordinary reign in the collective memory of Egyptian civilization. Such immense responsibility presented both a heavy burden and deep satisfaction, as he reflected on another successful day safeguarding order, prosperity, and security across his magnificent empire. Sleep gradually settled upon the royal mind, as the sounds of a great city settling into rest drifted through palace windows. Beyond his palace walls, millions of subjects slept peacefully, protected by Egyptian military might and administrative competence. Along distant frontiers, garrison forces maintained vigilant watch against potential enemies. Meanwhile, throughout the empire, officials and administrators prepared for another day of implementing royal policies and maintaining the complex systems sustaining Egyptian civilization. The night passed quietly over the Nile Valley as the Eternal River continued its ancient journey toward the Mediterranean Sea. It carried the dreams and aspirations of a people whose achievements under Ramses the Great would echo through history long after the last pyramid stone crumbled and the final hieroglyph was deciphered by scholars seeking to understand the glory of ancient Egypt at the height of its magnificent power. Dreams drifted through the royal consciousness like mist across the Nile, bearing visions of golden barges sailing toward horizons where the gods themselves awaited. In these nocturnal wanderings, Ramses witnessed the completion of monuments destined to stand long after all memory of lesser kings had faded. He saw vast armies marching in perfect formation across desert sands, their bronze weapons glinting in eternal sunlight, while conquered enemies bowed before the might of Egypt, restored to its rightful dominance over all nations. The pharaoh's sleeping mind revisited moments of triumph that defined his extraordinary reign. He stood again on the battlefield of Kadesh, where his personal courage and divine protection turned near disaster into legendary victory against the Hittite multitudes. He walked once more through the halls of newly completed temples, their walls alive with colors capturing the very essence of divine favor, while priests chanted prayers destined to echo through eternity. But even in sleep, the responsibilities of absolute power inevitably intruded upon his peaceful rest. Maintaining imperial control over distant territories whose resources remained essential for Egyptian prosperity. This vast network of influence, however, came with significant practical demands and financial burdens. Military protection alone required substantial expenditure to maintain numerous garrison forces and extensive supply lines that stretched across vast deserts and seas. Beyond defense, effective administrative oversight demanded a cadre of competent personnel, individuals not only skilled in governance but also willing to serve in challenging and often inhospitable environments, far from the familiar comforts of civilization and the Nile Valley. The diplomatic solutions that emerged from these detailed discussions were a testament to creative statecraft, demonstrating innovative approaches designed to achieve multiple strategic objectives simultaneously. A balanced compromise was reached. Kushite autonomy would be significantly expanded in matters affecting their internal governance, empowering local leaders to manage their own affairs. However, Egyptian authority would remain absolute and unquestioned in all matters involving external relations and the crucial extraction of resources, ensuring Egypt's continued access to vital materials. Further solidifying these ties, cultural exchange programs were initiated, intended to strengthen bonds between Egyptian and Kushite elites and foster mutual understanding. Concurrently, carefully crafted military cooperation agreements were put in place to ensure continued security against common threats posed by hostile neighbors, forging a shared defensive front. As afternoon shadows lengthened across the royal capital, the pharaoh's attention, ever divided, turned once more to his religious responsibilities, duties that occupied an increasingly important role in his demanding daily schedule. An inspection of the ongoing construction progress at the magnificent Abu Simbel temple complex provided a prime opportunity not only to monitor the painstaking work on the colossal monuments that would preserve his memory for future millennia but also to powerfully demonstrate Egyptian architectural supremacy to contemporary observers and rival nations. The journey to this awe-inspiring construction site offered breathtaking views of the magnificent structures already taking shape, meticulously crafted according to plans that ingeniously incorporated both timeless, traditional Egyptian design principles and innovative, cutting-edge engineering techniques. Massive statues, being skillfully carved directly from the living rock, would present the pharaoh's imposing image on a scale so grand that it would dwarf human observers, instilling a sense of awe and reverence. Within the temple's interior chambers, profound religious ceremonies would be conducted, rites designed to physically and spiritually connect Egyptian rulership with divine authority, thereby legitimizing the pharaoh's absolute power. The pharaoh's detailed examination of the construction progress clearly revealed his comprehensive understanding of sophisticated architectural principles and intricate artistic techniques. His discussions with the master builders demonstrated a profound knowledge of structural engineering, while his insightful suggestions for decorative elements reflected a refined aesthetic sensibility that would undoubtedly influence Egyptian artistic traditions for generations to come. The myriad craftsmen working under such direct royal supervision represented the pinnacle of ancient artistic achievement. Stone carvers, whose extraordinary skills had been honed and refined through decades of dedicated practice, meticulously created reliefs that combined unparalleled technical precision with profound emotional expression. Painters, whose deep knowledge of pigments and techniques enabled them to produce vibrant colors that would retain their brilliance for thousands of years, carefully applied decorative schemes that transformed mere architectural spaces into truly sacred and transcendent environments. The evening meal provided a welcome respite from the relentless demands of official duties, yet it also offered a precious opportunity for intimate family conversations that revealed the deeply personal dimensions underlying the grandeur of imperial life. Queen Nefertari's astute observations about the complex social dynamics of the court often complemented the pharaoh's formal political briefings, providing valuable context. Furthermore, her unique insights into women's perspectives supplied crucial information that was often overlooked or simply unavailable within masculine administrative circles. Her legendary beauty and profound intelligence had already cemented her status as an iconic figure whose influence extended throughout Egyptian society and indeed, far beyond its borders. The royal children, each now a seasoned adult with significant governmental responsibilities, also contributed their own informed perspectives on issues of governmental effectiveness and the administrative challenges within their respective areas of responsibility. Prince Kate's oversight of religious institutions, for instance, provided valuable intelligence about priestly attitudes and intricate temple finances that effectively supplemented the more formal reports received from official religious authorities. Similarly, Prince Maipar's military commands offered crucial insights into army morale and frontier conditions, thereby enhancing the understanding of the multifaceted security challenges facing the entire empire. These family discussions were a fascinating blend of intimate affection and astute political calculation, where personal relationships were skillfully harnessed to serve broader, overarching dynastic objectives. The pharaoh's thoughtful questions about his children's activities demonstrated genuine paternal concern, yet simultaneously ensured that all family members remained closely aligned with imperial policies and were adequately prepared for future leadership responsibilities that would maintain crucial stability throughout the transition to the next generation. The evening's extensive correspondence included communications from numerous distant territories, each requiring urgent royal guidance on complex challenges that far exceeded local administrative authority. Provincial governors, for example, requested clarification of intricate tax policies affecting unusual economic circumstances, while military commanders sought authorization for delicate diplomatic initiatives that could potentially reduce significant security costs through carefully negotiated agreements with potential enemies. Each incoming communication necessitated careful consideration of unique local conditions, meticulously weighed against broader imperial policies, while simultaneously maintaining crucial consistency in royal decisions across the empire's diverse geographical and cultural environments. The pharaoh's responses consistently demonstrated an administrative flexibility that enabled remarkably effective governance of territories whose diverse populations and varied economic systems often required nuanced, different approaches to common challenges. As night finally settled over Ramses, Ramses II prepared for sleep with the profound satisfaction of another successful day, having skillfully governed the ancient world's greatest empire through the application of his profound wisdom, extensive experience, and unparalleled administrative competence, qualities that had consistently sustained Egyptian dominance throughout his truly remarkable reign. The formidable challenges awaiting tomorrow would undoubtedly require fresh applications of these very same qualities that had enabled his unprecedented success in expertly managing the complex responsibilities of absolute power. The pharaoh's final reflections often turned to the enduring historical legacy that his decisions were actively creating for future generations of Egyptians who would one day inherit the vast empire he had so painstakingly built, and the revered traditions he had so firmly established. Every single policy decision influenced countless lives, while every action contributed significantly to the cultural foundations that would sustain Egyptian civilization long after his glorious reign had ended. The immense weight of such responsibility provided both a profound burden and a deep, abiding satisfaction as he contemplated the extraordinary achievements that had defined his extraordinary career. Sleep came gradually, as the soothing sounds of the great city settling into rest gently drifted through the palace windows, carrying with them the dreams and aspirations of millions of subjects whose prosperity and security depended entirely upon the continued effectiveness of pharaonic governance. The eternal rhythm of the Nile flowed onward through the darkness, bearing the hopes of a civilization that had achieved unparalleled greatness under the benevolent and mighty rule of Ramses the Great. The gentle murmur of the Nile's eternal flow mingled softly with the distant sounds of temple bells as another vibrant dawn broke over the magnificent empire that stretched majestically from the cataracts of Nubia to the cedar forests of Lebanon. In the opulent royal quarters of Abu Simbel, where massive stone guardians carved in his own heroic likeness watched over the sacred river, Ramses awakened to the familiar, immense weight of responsibilities that had shaped 3 decades of unprecedented and glorious rule. The morning light, filtering softly through exquisitely carved latticed windows, revealed chambers whose every surface told compelling stories of divine kingship and unparalleled earthly achievement. Painted scenes depicting cosmic battles between the forces of order and chaos served as constant, potent reminders to the pharaoh of his sacred duty to maintain universal harmony, while golden fixtures gleamed, reflecting the immense prosperity that flowed directly from competent and wise governance. The air carried subtle, intoxicating fragrances of lotus blossoms and sacred oils, creating an atmosphere of profound sanctity that unmistakably separated royal existence from the mundane concerns of ordinary mortals. Today, however, brought particular significance, as messengers had arrived bearing news that would undoubtedly test every diplomatic skill the pharaoh had assiduously developed throughout his legendary reign. The formidable Assyrian Empire, that rapidly growing power in distant Mesopotamia, had dispatched envoys requesting an audience to discuss matters they confidently claimed affected the stability of the entire ancient world. Their precise timing strongly suggested a coordinated effort with other developing international situations, necessitating careful analysis and a strategically astute response. The royal awakening followed precise patterns established through decades of ceremonial precision, each movement imbued with ritualistic meaning. Attendants approached with elegant vessels of heated water, gently infused with aromatic herbs whose medicinal properties were believed to preserve royal health, while their pleasant scent provided a soothing sensory pleasure. This meticulous process of cleansing and preparation transformed sleep-softened features into the commanding and awe-inspiring presence that subjects expected to encounter in their divine ruler. The selection of appropriate regalia for today's momentous diplomatic encounters required careful consideration of the symbolic messages that would undoubtedly be interpreted by shrewd foreign observers, who would be actively seeking any subtle signs of Egyptian strength, or, conversely, potential weakness. The golden pectoral chosen for this specific occasion bore intricate inscriptions celebrating past military victories over the very same Mesopotamian peoples whose representatives now sought audience, a subtle but powerful reminder of past conflicts, while simultaneously suggesting possibilities for future cooperation. The ceremonial beard, that distinctive and revered symbol of pharaonic authority, received particular, meticulous attention, as its perfect positioning could profoundly influence how foreign diplomats perceived Egyptian dignity and divine favor. Crafted from materials more precious than the entire treasuries of most kingdoms, it transformed mortal features into the living embodiment of cosmic authority, which served to legitimize absolute rule over millions of subjects. The morning meal unfolded in chambers majestically overlooking the great river, whose annual floods had miraculously sustained Egyptian civilization since time immemorial. Fresh bread, still warm from the royal ovens, accompanied an array of fruits whose exquisite sweetness reflected the unparalleled agricultural abundance that enabled Egypt to support vast armies and magnificent building projects, while simultaneously maintaining a level of civilian prosperity that far exceeded anything achieved by rival kingdoms. During breakfast, the pharaoh received preliminary briefings about the Assyrian delegation, whose unexpected arrival had already created a palpable mixture of excitement and concern throughout the capital. Intelligence reports suggested these envoys carried proposals for a military alliance against common enemies, but their true, underlying intentions remained intriguingly unclear. The careful balance between graciously welcoming honored guests and maintaining an unwavering defensive readiness required a rare set of diplomatic skills that few rulers possessed. The walk to the audience chamber provided a valuable opportunity to observe the bustling daily activities within the royal compound that supported the vast imperial administration. Scribes meticulously organized papyrus documents containing correspondence from governors throughout the sprawling empire, while skilled craftsmen transported precious gifts destined for foreign rulers whose cooperation served vital Egyptian strategic interests. The highly controlled and efficient activity reflected sophisticated organizational capabilities that enabled effective governance across vast distances and over immensely diverse populations. The throne room itself represented an architectural achievement that eloquently demonstrated Egyptian cultural supremacy to visiting diplomats. Colossal columns, carved with astonishing mathematical precision, supported ceilings painted with intricate astronomical designs that powerfully reminded observers of the cosmic significance of pharaonic authority. The throne, majestically elevated above the assembled court, ensured that foreign representatives must literally look up to Egyptian power, while simultaneously experiencing the overwhelming visual impact of imperial magnificence. As the Assyrian delegation entered this sacred and awe-inspiring space, their carefully controlled expressions revealed the trained composure of seasoned diplomats attempting to project confidence, even as they undoubtedly experienced the overwhelming grandeur designed specifically to impress foreign visitors. Their leader, a man whose bearing suggested a strong military background and profound political sophistication, approached the throne with movements that respectfully acknowledged Egyptian supremacy while maintaining his personal dignity. The formal presentations commenced with traditional exchanges of diplomatic courtesy, a veneer that cleverly masked the serious and strategic negotiations underlying the ceremonial politeness. The Assyrian gifts, which included rare minerals and exquisitely crafted weapons, symbolically represented their kingdom's growing wealth and advanced technical capabilities, while implicitly acknowledging Egyptian dominance in regional affairs. The pharaoh's acceptance of these offerings deftly balanced gracious appreciation with subtle, yet unmistakable, reminders of Egypt's superior position. The substantive discussions that followed quickly revealed complex and potentially destabilizing international developments that threatened the carefully maintained balance of power throughout the ancient Near East. Assyrian intelligence suggested that Hittite military preparations extended far beyond mere defensive measures to include offensive capabilities that could significantly destabilize existing treaty arrangements. More concerning still, tribal confederations in distant regions appeared to be coordinating their activities, a pattern that might herald coordinated attacks against established civilizations, posing a widespread threat. The pharaoh's insightful questions probed deeply beneath the diplomatic language, aiming to identify the underlying strategic realities that would ultimately determine whether cooperation or conflict would best serve long-term Egyptian interests. His profound knowledge of regional politics deeply impressed even the most experienced Assyrian diplomats, while his analytical insights revealed a comprehensive understanding of military capabilities and the geographical factors that profoundly influenced strategic planning. The negotiations that developed during these exchanges demonstrated a diplomatic sophistication that had enabled Egypt to maintain regional dominance through a masterful blend of alliance and intimidation, rather than constant, costly warfare. The proposed agreements would create invaluable intelligence-sharing arrangements that benefited both kingdoms while establishing clear protocols for military cooperation against common threats, all without compromising either nation's cherished independence. Between these formal diplomatic sessions, urgent messages frequently arrived from frontier commanders, reporting developments that required immediate royal attention. Libyan raiders, for instance, had launched coordinated attacks against western oases, whose control directly affected vital caravan routes carrying valuable goods from sub-Saharan Africa. The precise timing of these raids suggested a possible connection to broader hostile activities that might simultaneously threaten multiple Egyptian interests, indicating a more widespread and organized threat. The pharaoh's response to these sudden military challenges consistently revealed strategic thinking that carefully weighed immediate tactical requirements against longer-term diplomatic consequences. Military reinforcements were swiftly authorized for frontier garrisons, while parallel diplomatic initiatives sought to address the underlying causes of tribal hostility through carefully negotiated settlements that preserved crucial Egyptian interests, while simultaneously reducing long-term security costs. Naval reports, too, indicated increased piracy in Mediterranean waters, which directly threatened merchant vessels carrying vital Egyptian exports to foreign markets. The perpetrators appeared to be well-organized groups operating from bases in regions beyond direct Egyptian control, strongly suggesting coordination by hostile powers seeking to damage Egyptian commercial interests without direct military confrontation. The economic implications of such disruptions required careful analysis of response options that balanced protective measures against available naval resources. The afternoon brought a continuation of the crucial diplomatic discussions as the Assyrian envoys presented detailed proposals for military cooperation that would formally solidify alliance arrangements, while meticulously preserving both kingdoms' sovereignty. The agreements under consideration would establish clear protocols for sharing intelligence about common enemies while coordinating defensive strategies that maximized combined military effectiveness without creating dangerous dependencies or compromising independence. The pharaoh's astute evaluation of these complex proposals demonstrated exceptional analytical skills, enabling him to extract maximum advantage from diplomatic opportunities while skillfully minimizing potential risks. His carefully crafted counterproposals subtly modified the Assyrian suggestions to ensure that Egyptian interests received appropriate priority, while simultaneously offering sufficient benefits to maintain Assyrian enthusiasm for the cooperative arrangements. Religious ceremonies then occupied the late afternoon, as the pharaoh diligently fulfilled his sacred duties that profoundly connected earthly governance with divine authority. The elaborate rituals performed in Abu Simbel's inner sanctuaries served both crucial spiritual and political purposes, reinforcing the theological foundations of royal power while powerfully demonstrating continued divine favor to subjects whose loyalty depended partly on their belief in pharaonic sacred authority. The temple ceremonies themselves represented ancient religious traditions, refined over millennia of Egyptian civilization. Incense burned in resplendent golden braziers, while priests chanted ancient prayers whose hallowed words had accompanied pharaonic rule since the pyramids were young. The elaborate rituals created a sacred atmosphere that separated the royal presence from mundane existence, while reinforcing cosmic connections that legitimized absolute authority. The pharaoh's active participation in these ceremonies revealed a genuine religious conviction that powerfully complemented his astute political calculations. His heartfelt prayers for Egyptian prosperity and divine guidance in governing decisions reflected a sincere belief in the sacred responsibilities that profoundly accompanied temporal power. The unique combination of authentic faith and practical wisdom had contributed significantly to his remarkable success in maintaining stability throughout decades of challenging rule. Evening brought family gatherings that provided welcome respite from official duties, while also offering crucial opportunity for private consultations about dynastic concerns that directly affected imperial continuity. Queen Nefertari's insightful observations into court social dynamics continued to complement formal intelligence reports, while her unique observations about women's perspectives revealed information often overlooked by masculine administrative networks. The royal children, now experienced adults with significant governmental responsibilities, contributed their nuanced assessments of administrative effectiveness and potential challenges within their respective areas of authority. Their reports provided invaluable informal intelligence about bureaucratic performance and popular attitudes that supplemented official briefings, while simultaneously strengthening the vital family bonds that ensured dynastic stability during future transitions. These intimate conversations revealed the personal costs of absolute power, as family relationships seamlessly blended genuine affection with astute political calculation. The pharaoh's deep concern for his children's welfare often competed with demanding dynastic requirements that, by necessity, subordinated individual preferences to the greater imperial needs. The emotional complexity of royal family life added a poignant human dimension to the awesome responsibilities of governing millions of subjects whose very lives depended upon effective leadership. The evening's correspondence included additional messages from distant territories whose governors faced unusual challenges requiring immediate royal guidance. Economic disruptions caused by natural disasters, for instance, affected tax collection schedules, while diplomatic complications with neighboring kingdoms threatened established trading relationships. Each situation required careful analysis of local conditions, meticulously weighed against broader imperial policies, while maintaining consistency in royal decisions across diverse environments. Intelligence briefings revealed ongoing developments in the international situation that required continuous monitoring and potential response adjustments. Hittite military activities along Syrian frontiers, in particular, suggested possible preparations for operations that could violate peace. These developments carried direct implications for Egypt's treaty obligations. Assyrian diplomatic missions to various kingdoms indicated significant alliance-building efforts, potentially altering regional power balances in ways that directly threatened Egyptian interests. The pharaoh's analysis of these intelligence reports, however, revealed the strategic patience characteristic of his most successful foreign policy initiatives. His instructions underscored detailed information gathering and contingency planning, all while preserving diplomatic flexibility for future responses based on a clearer understanding of enemy intentions and capabilities. As night descended over the great river, whose eternal flow had witnessed countless civilizations rise and fall, Ramses II prepared for sleep, content with another day successfully navigating the complex challenges defining imperial governance in an age of constant threat and opportunity. Tomorrow, he knew, would bring fresh demands upon royal wisdom and administrative competence, continuing the endless task of maintaining Egyptian dominance through a careful balance of strength and diplomacy. The pharaoh's final reflections often turned to the monumental legacy his reign would bequeath to future generations of Egyptians, who would inherit the empire he had expanded and the traditions he had refined. Every decision influenced civilization's historical trajectory, while every achievement contributed to cultural foundations sustaining Egyptian greatness long after his remarkable reign concluded. The sounds of night settled over Abu Simbel as palace guards took their positions, and the great city gradually grew quiet, save for the eternal murmur of the sacred river. Beyond temple walls, millions of subjects slept peacefully, protected by Egyptian military might. Garrison forces maintained their vigilant watch against potential enemies gathering in distant lands. Sleep came gradually to the royal consciousness, as dreams blended memories of past triumphs with visions of future achievements, further enhancing Egyptian glory. In these nocturnal wanderings, the pharaoh saw completed temples preserving his memory throughout eternity, envisioning diplomatic victories securing lasting peace for his people through strength and wisdom, rather than endless warfare. The night passed peacefully over the Nile Valley. Throughout the vast empire, the systems and institutions Ramses II had perfected continued their work, maintaining order, prosperity, and security for a civilization that had achieved unprecedented greatness under his legendary rule. The eternal rhythm of the great river carried forward the dreams and aspirations of a people whose achievements would echo through history long after the last pyramid stone had weathered and the final hieroglyphic inscription had been deciphered by scholars seeking to understand the magnificence that was ancient Egypt under Ramses the Great. Dawn approached with subtle atmospheric changes, heralding another day of governing the ancient world's most powerful empire. The gentle stirring of air through palace chambers carried the familiar scent of lotus blossoms and sacred oils, while distant sounds announced the awakening of a great city whose prosperity reflected the competent administration that had sustained Egyptian dominance for 3 decades of unprecedented rule. In the growing light, the massive stone guardians carved into the cliff face seemed to awaken alongside their royal model. Their eternal gaze swept across the sacred river, connecting all Egyptian territories in an endless chain of prosperity and power. These monuments, more magnificent than anything attempted by rival civilizations, would preserve the pharaoh's image and achievements for future millennia, serving as permanent reminders of the heights human ambition could achieve when guided by wisdom and supported by divine favor. The royal chambers gradually filled with subtle activities, preparing for another day of imperial responsibility. Attendants moved with practiced silence, while scribes organized documents containing the accumulated business of governing territories stretching from tropical Africa to the Cedar Mountains of Lebanon. The careful orchestration of royal routine reflected organizational capabilities enabling effective administration across vast distances and diverse populations. The morning ablutions proceeded with ceremonial precision. Warm water, infused with medicinal herbs, cleansed away the residue of sleep, while aromatic oils prepared royal skin for another day of contact with golden ornaments and precious fabrics. This process transformed private humanity into public divinity through carefully prescribed rituals, connecting contemporary practice with ancient traditions, thus legitimizing pharaonic authority. The selection of appropriate regalia required considering symbolic messages that would influence how subjects and foreign observers interpreted the royal appearance. Today's schedule included inspecting military installations whose readiness affected Egyptian security regionally, demanding ceremonial dress that projected martial authority while maintaining religious significance essential for divine kingship. The royal breakfast unfolded in chambers whose painted walls depicted scenes of cosmic harmony maintained through pharaonic intervention in the eternal struggle between order and chaos. Fresh provisions demonstrated the agricultural abundance flowing from competent governance, while exotic delicacies revealed the geographical extent of Egyptian commercial networks and tributary relationships. During this meal, senior advisors presented briefings on overnight developments requiring immediate royal attention. Military commanders reported successful completion of defensive preparations along frontier regions where intelligence suggested potential hostile activity. Treasury officials provided updated assessments of imperial revenues, which continued to exceed projections despite increased military expenditures necessitated by growing security concerns. The morning court session began with traditional acknowledgments of royal divinity and imperial authority, reinforcing the sacred foundations of absolute power. Incense burned in precious braziers while priests offered prayers for continued divine favor and Egyptian prosperity. The ceremonial language employed during these rituals connected contemporary governance with ancient traditions, legitimizing royal authority through association with cosmic order. The first petitioners presented cases illustrating the full spectrum of challenges facing Egyptian society under royal rule. Merchants sought protection for trading expeditions venturing into regions where political instability threatened commercial activities. Farmers requested assistance with irrigation projects to increase agricultural productivity while reducing vulnerability to irregular flooding patterns. Craftsmen proposed innovations in manufacturing techniques that could enhance Egyptian competitive advantages in international markets. Each case required careful consideration of competing priorities and available resources, maintaining consistency with established policies and legal precedents. The pharaoh's responses demonstrated a comprehensive understanding of economic principles, legal traditions, and administrative procedures that enabled effective governance throughout his remarkable reign. Between formal proceedings, urgent communications arrived from distant territories where local officials faced situations requiring royal guidance. A provincial governor reported unusual tribal movements along desert frontiers, which might herald coordinated attacks against Egyptian settlements. Military commanders sought authorization for diplomatic initiatives that could resolve border tensions through negotiated agreements rather than costly military interventions. The pharaoh's responses to these challenges reflected strategic thinking that balanced immediate tactical requirements against longer-term political objectives. His instructions demonstrated an understanding of regional dynamics while maintaining central authority over policy decisions affecting imperial interests throughout the vast territories under Egyptian control. Intelligence briefings revealed ongoing developments in international relations, requiring continuous monitoring and potential response preparations. Recent Assyrian diplomatic activities suggested possible alliance-building efforts that could alter regional power balances, while Hittite military exercises near Syrian frontiers indicated potential preparations for operations threatening Egyptian vassal states. The analysis of these intelligence reports revealed a comprehensive understanding of foreign capabilities and intentions, demonstrating strategic patience that had characterized successful Egyptian foreign policy throughout the pharaoh's reign. Instructions for response preparations emphasized information gathering and diplomatic flexibility, while maintaining military readiness for various potential scenarios. As morning transitioned to afternoon, the royal schedule shifted from administrative duties to ceremonial responsibilities, reinforcing cultural traditions and religious obligations essential for maintaining social stability. The inspection of temple construction projects provided an opportunity to monitor progress on monuments that would preserve royal memory while demonstrating Egyptian architectural supremacy to contemporary and future observers. The journey to construction sites offered views of magnificent structures taking shape according to plans incorporating both traditional design principles and innovative engineering techniques. Master builders coordinated thousands of workers whose skills represented the pinnacle of ancient craftsmanship. Their organized labor demonstrated administrative capabilities enabling seemingly impossible architectural goals. The pharaoh's examination of construction progress revealed detailed knowledge of building techniques and artistic principles, guiding suggestions for design modifications and decorative enhancements. His discussions with project supervisors demonstrated an understanding of structural engineering, while his aesthetic recommendations reflected cultural sensibilities that would influence Egyptian artistic traditions for generations. The afternoon audience with foreign ambassadors provided an opportunity to advance Egyptian diplomatic interests while gathering information about international developments that could affect imperial security. Representatives from Mediterranean kingdoms presented tribute offerings, acknowledging Egyptian supremacy while seeking assurances about commercial privileges and military protection for their merchant vessels. The diplomatic negotiations that followed revealed complex calculations in maintaining Egyptian influence over diverse territories and populations whose cooperation required different combinations of incentives and deterrents. The agreements reached during these discussions balanced Egyptian interests against Allied needs, establishing precedents that would guide future diplomatic relationships. Evening brought a return to palace chambers where family conversations provided respite from official duties, offering opportunity for private consultations about dynastic concerns affecting imperial continuity. The intimate discussions that followed blended personal affection with political calculation, as family relationships served broader objectives of maintaining stability during eventual transitions to future leadership. As night settled over Abu Simbel and the Eternal River continued its ancient journey toward the Mediterranean Sea, Ramses II reflected on another successful day of governing the ancient world's greatest empire through wisdom, experience, and divine favor that had sustained Egyptian dominance throughout his legendary reign. The massive stone guardians carved into the cliff face stood eternal watch over the sacred river, while millions of subjects throughout the empire slept peacefully under the protection of Egyptian military might and administrative competence. The night passed quietly over territories stretching from tropical Africa to the mountains of Lebanon, carrying dreams of continued prosperity under pharaonic rule that had brought unprecedented peace and abundance to the civilized world. In royal dreams, visions of completed monuments blended with memories of diplomatic triumphs and military victories that had established Egyptian supremacy throughout the ancient Near East. These nocturnal wanderings revealed subconscious processing of the enormous responsibilities accompanying absolute power, providing psychological preparation for future challenges that would test every skill developed through decades of successful governance. The eternal rhythm of the Nile flowed onward through darkness, bearing the hopes and aspirations of a civilization that had achieved greatness under Ramses the Great. His reign would be remembered as the Golden Age when Egyptian power reached its zenith, and the name of Pharaoh commanded respect throughout the known world. The gentle splash of oars against the sacred waters announced the royal barge's arrival at the great temple of Karnak, where morning rituals would connect earthly governance with divine will. As the pharaoh stepped onto stone quays worn smooth by centuries of royal visits, priests emerged from shadowy doorways with the measured pace of men whose every movement carried religious significance. The air shimmered with heat that would soon become oppressive, but in these early hours, the warmth felt like an embrace from Ra himself, blessing another day of divine kingship. The procession into the temple followed patterns established when the pyramids were already ancient. Incense bearers led the way, their golden censers releasing clouds of frankincense transporting consciousness beyond mundane concerns toward communion with forces governing cosmic order. Behind them, musicians played instruments whose melodies had accompanied pharaonic worship since the dawn of Egyptian civilization, their rhythms synchronized with the eternal heartbeat of the Nile sustaining all life in this blessed land. The inner sanctuaries of Karnak revealed artistic achievements surpassing anything attempted by rival civilizations. Columns soared toward painted ceilings mapping the movements of stars and planets, while walls bore reliefs depicting the pharaoh's divine connections through scenes of cosmic battles and celestial ceremonies. Gold leaf caught and multiplied the flickering light of oil lamps, creating an atmosphere where earthly and divine realms merged in perfect harmony. The morning offerings proceeded with ritual precision, transforming simple gifts into sacred communication with the gods. Fresh bread, still warm from temple ovens, represented the agricultural abundance flowing from divine favor toward competent rulers. Precious oils from distant lands demonstrated the geographical extent of Egyptian influence, while their aromatic properties created sensory experiences elevating consciousness beyond ordinary perception. Wine aged in temple cellars provided libations whose quality reflected the craftsmanship and patience characterizing Egyptian civilization at its finest. As the pharaoh performed these ancient rites, his consciousness expanded to encompass responsibilities extending far beyond personal concerns. The prayers he offered sought divine guidance for decisions affecting millions of subjects, while requesting continued protection for an empire stretching across vast territories filled with diverse populations. The weight of such intercession might overwhelm a lesser mind, but decades of practice had taught him to find strength and clarity through communion with forces greater than human understanding. The temple ceremonies concluded with prophecies delivered by priests whose training enabled them to interpret divine messages through observations of natural phenomena and sacred signs. Today's augury suggested favorable conditions for military operations while warning against hasty diplomatic initiatives that might disturb carefully maintained alliance structures. The subtle guidance provided through these spiritual channels complemented practical intelligence gathered through human networks, creating comprehensive understanding enabling informed decision-making about complex challenges. The return journey to the palace provided an opportunity to observe morning activities throughout the royal capital as citizens began another day of productive labor under Egyptian rule. Merchants arranged displays of goods representing commercial networks extending throughout the known world, while craftsmen prepared workshops for creating artifacts whose quality made Egyptian culture famous among foreign peoples. This controlled bustle reflected organizational capabilities enabling urban civilization to flourish, while simultaneously supporting military forces and monumental construction projects. The royal barge glided silently along waterways connecting all Egyptian territories in an endless chain of communication and commerce. Smaller vessels laden with tribute goods from distant provinces passed in respectful acknowledgement of pharaonic presence, while fishing boats paused their activities to allow unimpeded passage for divine authority. The river traffic demonstrated economic vitality flowing from political stability, maintained through competent administration and strategic wisdom. Palace corridors buzzed with purposeful activity as courtiers and officials prepared for the day's formal proceedings. Scribes organized papyrus documents containing correspondence from governors throughout the empire, while clerks copied royal decrees for distribution to administrative centers across thousands of miles. The careful orchestration of bureaucratic functions enabled effective governance of territories whose diverse populations required different approaches to common challenges. The midday meal unfolded in chambers cooled by ingenious architectural features that channeled breezes from the sacred river, providing relief from the steadily growing heat. The oppressive heat intensified as the sun god Ra ascended to the pinnacle of his daily celestial voyage. A sumptuous meal was presented, featuring fresh fish, meticulously caught at dawn by the royal fishermen, alongside an array of vibrant vegetables cultivated within the palace gardens. These gardens, sustained by sophisticated irrigation systems, stood as a testament to the advanced engineering prowess that ensured remarkable agricultural productivity even amidst the most formidable climatic challenges. The diverse menu not only celebrated the abundant bounty of the local lands but also proudly displayed exotic imports, underscoring Egypt's unrivaled commercial preeminence across the breadth of the ancient world. Yet, this moment of regal repast was abruptly interrupted by the arrival of urgent dispatches from the commanders stationed at the distant frontiers, detailing critical developments demanding the pharaoh's immediate and undivided royal attention. Reports indicated that cunning Bedouin raiders had audaciously struck mining convoys as they journeyed back from the vital copper extraction sites deep within the Sinai. The precise timing of these coordinated assaults strongly suggested a deliberate collaboration with hostile factions, clearly aiming to destabilize and disrupt Egypt's essential resource-gathering operations. The sheer audacity and scale of these attacks were alarming, pointing either to the desperate straits of the attackers or a newfound confidence, which in turn hinted at significant external backing from adversaries keen on undermining the very economic foundations of the mighty Egyptian empire. The pharaoh's sagacious response to these burgeoning military challenges immediately showcased a profound strategic intellect, one that deftly weighed immediate tactical imperatives against the overarching objectives of long-term national security. Swiftly, additional garrison forces were sanctioned and dispatched to bolster the protection of the vulnerable mining regions. Concurrently, carefully crafted diplomatic initiatives were set in motion, designed to probe and address the fundamental causes of tribal hostility. These endeavors sought to forge negotiated agreements that would not only safeguard vital Egyptian interests, but also significantly reduce the sustained financial burden of long-term military enforcement. This remarkable and delicate equilibrium between decisive strength and artful accommodation had proven instrumental in his successful navigation of complex frontier challenges throughout his truly remarkable reign. Further administrative reports, meticulously compiled by the provincial governors, laid bare the intricate realities of governing an expansive empire whose vast territories embraced profoundly diverse geographical and cultural landscapes. The fertile delta provinces, blessed by the Nile's consistent and favorable flooding conditions, continued to revel in exceptional prosperity, yielding agricultural surpluses that astonishingly exceeded even the empire's considerable storage capacities. In stark contrast, the territories of Upper Egypt contended with the unpredictable vagaries of irregular precipitation patterns, necessitating rigorous water management strategies and, at times, judicious tax adjustments to avert civilian hardship and discontent. Meanwhile, the recently subjugated regions in Syria and Palestine, though presently reporting stable conditions, undeniably demanded a sustained and significant military presence to effectively deter any nascent rebellions from populations whose allegiance remained, at best, tenuous. The substantial expenditures incurred in maintaining adequate military forces across these distant outposts had to be meticulously weighed against the revenues meticulously generated through taxation and tribute collection. This intricate balancing act created a labyrinth of complex calculations, serving as a constant test of the empire's administrative capabilities and the pharaoh's strategic wisdom. Economic briefings, presented with customary diligence, unveiled a tapestry woven with both encouraging trends and burgeoning challenges, each demanding careful and timely policy adjustments. Commercial revenues, a vital lifeblood of the empire, consistently surpassed all projections, a testament to the enduring appeal of Egyptian manufactured goods which found eager markets across the entire ancient world. Simultaneously, robust agricultural exports continued to generate substantial foreign exchange, flowing through long-established and lucrative trading relationships. Yet, this prosperity was not without its shadows. The escalating military expenditures, rendered unavoidable by mounting security concerns, were now perceptibly straining the budgets painstakingly allocated for monumental construction projects and essential civilian programs, presenting a delicate fiscal dilemma. As the afternoon progressed, the court session commenced with the customary traditional ceremonies, each meticulously designed to powerfully reinforce the pharaoh's inherent royal authority and his profound divine connections. Courtiers, with movements as fluid as they were carefully rehearsed, advanced towards the resplendent throne, offering gestures of profound submission. Foreign diplomats, meanwhile, observed intricate protocols that subtly acknowledged Egyptian supremacy, yet managed to do so without unduly compromising their own nation's dignity. These elaborate rituals, far from being mere spectacle, served a dual purpose. They were both deeply religious and acutely political. They vividly demonstrated the boundless wealth and unparalleled organizational capabilities that underpinned the empire's enduring dominance, all while subtly cultivating an atmosphere conducive to successful and advantageous negotiations. The inaugural major case brought before the pharaoh concerned a thorny boundary dispute between two powerful noble families, whose expansive land holdings abutted the hallowed sacred temple precincts near the ancient city of Memphis. Both claimants presented meticulously prepared arguments, bolstered by venerable property documents and compelling witness testimonies, while their erudite advocates invoked legal precedents stretching back through several past pharaonic reigns. The sheer intricacy of the evidence necessitated an exhaustive analysis of complex inheritance laws, deeply rooted religious obligations, and fundamental agricultural rights, all intersecting in ways that threatened to establish far-reaching and critical precedents for future adjudications. The pharaoh's masterful handling of this contentious dispute brilliantly showcased the profound judicial wisdom that had justly earned him the unwavering respect of all strata of Egyptian society. His incisive questions skillfully probed the underlying motivations of the parties, while his astute observations swiftly identified potential compromise solutions that could gracefully preserve strained family relationships without inadvertently setting dangerous legal precedents. Ultimately, the sagacious resolution deftly balanced these competing claims through creative and innovative solutions, which not only served the broader imperial interests, but also meticulously maintained social stability among these highly influential constituencies. In a brief interlude between the more formal court proceedings, highly trusted intelligence officers stepped forward to deliver crucial briefings on international developments unfolding across the region, each with the potential to significantly impact Egyptian strategic interests. Reports indicated a flurry of Hittite diplomatic missions to various neighboring kingdoms, strongly suggesting concerted alliance-building efforts that could fundamentally alter the delicate regional power balances thereby posing a direct threat to long-established Egyptian relationships. Simultaneously, alarming Assyrian military preparations observed in northern Mesopotamia hinted at possible expansionist plans, which, if realized, would undeniably bring potentially hostile forces perilously closer to Egypt's vital sphere of influence. The pharaoh's incisive analysis of these complex foreign policy challenges consistently revealed a comprehensive and nuanced understanding of intricate regional dynamics. This deep insight was always tempered by the strategic patience that had, throughout his illustrious reign, become a hallmark of successful Egyptian diplomacy. Accordingly, response preparations were meticulously formulated, placing paramount emphasis on enhanced intelligence gathering and agile diplomatic flexibility, all while rigorously maintaining military readiness for a multitude of potential scenarios that might ultimately demand coordinated action to safeguard Egyptian interests and protect its cherished alliances. Fortuitously, naval reports conveyed heartening news. The successful conclusion of extensive anti-piracy operations had definitively restored a much-needed sense of security to the critical Mediterranean shipping lanes, routes absolutely essential for the vibrant tapestry of Egyptian commercial activities. The meticulously coordinated efforts between the formidable Egyptian naval forces and their steadfast allied kingdoms had effectively dismantled major pirate strongholds, simultaneously establishing robust patrol patterns designed to proactively deter future criminal enterprises from flourishing. The undeniable economic benefits gleaned from these now secure sea routes unequivocally justified the substantial military expenditures required for such crucial naval operations. Moreover, these successes further cemented and strengthened invaluable relationships with Egypt's trading partners, who profoundly depended upon Egyptian protection for their own prosperity. As the late afternoon drew on, the pharaoh dedicated his attention to a meticulous inspection of several grand architectural projects currently underway. These monumental undertakings were conceived not merely to preserve his royal memory for eternity, but also to resoundingly demonstrate Egyptian cultural supremacy to all future generations. The colossal temple complex, currently under construction at Ramses, stood as a living testament to engineering achievements that profoundly surpassed anything yet attempted by contemporary civilizations. It further showcased artistic innovations that seamlessly blended revered traditional Egyptian styles with subtle influences absorbed from recently conquered territories. Highly skilled master builders orchestrated the coordinated efforts of thousands upon thousands of workers, whose specialized crafts enabled the creation of monuments whose sheer scale and breathtaking beauty were destined to inspire awe for millennia. Expert stone carvers painstakingly shaped massive granite blocks with astonishing mathematical precision, while gifted painters applied vibrant pigments whose unique chemical compositions would miraculously preserve their brilliance through centuries of relentless exposure to the harsh desert conditions. The unparalleled level of coordination demanded for such monumental projects eloquently demonstrated the administrative capabilities that empowered Egypt to achieve seemingly impossible goals through meticulously organized human effort. The pharaoh's own profound and detailed knowledge of construction techniques became strikingly apparent during his discussions with project supervisors, as he engaged in insightful conversations about structural modifications and decorative enhancements. His keen suggestions unmistakably reflected a comprehensive understanding of both the practical engineering requirements and the profound symbolic meanings that architectural elements were intended to convey to all observers. This remarkable combination of unparalleled technical competence and refined aesthetic sensibility had, time and again, enabled the creation of monuments that effectively served both sacred religious purposes and powerful political objectives. As evening gracefully descended, the pharaoh returned to the privacy of his palace chambers, where family conversations offered a much-needed respite from the relentless official responsibilities. Yet, even these intimate exchanges often turned to crucial dynastic concerns, profoundly affecting the very continuity of the empire. Queen Nefertari, with her keen insights into the intricate social dynamics of the court, provided invaluable perspectives that expertly complemented formal intelligence reports, revealing critical information regarding factional loyalties and potential sources of internal conflict that might subtly threaten governmental stability during future leadership transitions. The royal children, too, contributed their own unique perspectives on administrative effectiveness within their designated areas of governmental responsibility. Prince Kenwet's diligent oversight of religious institutions, for instance, yielded crucial intelligence concerning priestly attitudes and temple finances, serving as an invaluable supplement to official reports from religious authorities. Similarly, Prince Mana's military commands provided astute assessments of army morale and strategic readiness, thereby significantly enhancing the overall understanding of the multifaceted security challenges confronting the empire. These deeply intimate discussions were a sophisticated blend of genuine family affection and astute political calculations, demonstrating how personal relationships were artfully leveraged to serve the broader objectives of maintaining dynastic stability and meticulously preparing future leaders for the enormous, often daunting, responsibilities of absolute power. The profound emotional complexity inherent in royal family life thus added a poignant human dimension to the awesome burdens of governing millions of subjects whose very welfare depended entirely upon effective leadership and wise policy decisions. The evening's substantial correspondence further encompassed a collection of messages from distant governors, each facing unusual and pressing challenges that mandated royal guidance extending beyond conventional administrative procedures. Reports detailed natural disasters severely impacting agricultural production, thereby necessitating immediate emergency relief measures, while intricate diplomatic complications with neighboring kingdoms gravely threatened lucrative trading relationships, which were crucial generators of significant imperial revenues. Each unique situation demanded a meticulous analysis, carefully weighing local conditions against broader policy frameworks, all while striving to maintain unwavering consistency in royal decisions across the empire's remarkably diverse environments. Concurrent intelligence briefings brought forth ongoing developments in regional security situations, underscoring the necessity for continuous monitoring and potential, agile response adjustments. Recent tribal movements along the western frontiers raised concerns, hinting at possible coordination among traditionally independent groups, while intensified Hittite military activities observed near the Syrian border strongly indicated potential treaty violations, which could dangerously destabilize meticulously maintained peace agreements. The pharaoh's astute analysis of these formidable security challenges consistently reflected a profound strategic wisdom, one that masterfully considered multiple scenarios and encompassed comprehensive contingency planning for various possible outcomes. His directives steadfastly emphasized diplomatic solutions as the primary course of action, yet always maintained a robust military preparedness for those critical situations that might regrettably necessitate forceful intervention to unequivocally preserve Egyptian interests and protect its allied populations from hostile aggression. As the cloak of night gently descended over the majestic royal capital, the solemn chime of temple bells echoed the passing hours, while vigilant palace guards assumed their nocturnal positions throughout the extensive compound that housed the heart of imperial administration. The serene sounds of a great city settling into its nightly rest quietly drifted through the royal chambers, a soothing reminder that millions of subjects throughout the vast empire were preparing for sleep, secure under the protective embrace of Egyptian military might and unparalleled administrative competence. The pharaoh's final, profound reflections before succumbing to slumber often gravitated towards the monumental legacy that his every decision was meticulously crafting for future generations, those who would eventually inherit the grand empire he had so skillfully expanded and the rich cultural traditions he had so diligently refined. Every single policy enacted, he mused, profoundly influenced the historical trajectory of civilization itself, while every singular achievement contributed indelibly to the foundational pillars that would sustain Egyptian greatness long after his remarkable reign had finally concluded. Sleep claimed him gradually, as his conscious mind gently surrendered to dreams that seamlessly blended cherished memories of past triumphs with exhilarating visions of future accomplishments yet to be magnificently achieved. Within these profound nocturnal wanderings, visions of completed temples majestically stood, silent and eternal testaments to his unparalleled royal vision. He dreamt of diplomatic victories that forged lasting peace, achieved through a judicious blend of strength and profound wisdom, rather than through the relentless, costly cycle of endless warfare. His subconscious mind tirelessly processed the enormous, often solitary, responsibilities of absolute power, even as it meticulously prepared for the fresh challenges that tomorrow would inevitably bring, challenges destined to test every skill honed and perfected through decades of successful governance. The night passed peacefully over the verdant Nile Valley, and throughout the vast empire, the intricate systems and robust institutions that Ramses II had so meticulously perfected continued their eternal, tireless work of maintaining unwavering order, fostering abundant prosperity, and ensuring impregnable security for a civilization that had unequivocally achieved unprecedented heights under his legendary leadership. The sacred river, the timeless Nile, flowed ever onward through the receding darkness, ceaselessly carrying with it the dreams and aspirations that would echo gloriously through history, long after the final stone had been reverently placed upon the last monumental structure commemorating the Golden Age when Egyptian power reached its absolute zenith under Ramses the Great. Dawn's subtle atmospheric changes began to herald yet another day of profound imperial responsibility, as the eternal cycle continued, the very cycle that had magnificently sustained Egyptian civilization through countless generations of divine kingship. The massive, sentinel stone guardians of Abu Simbel maintained their ancient vigil over the sacred waters, while the royal consciousness within prepared itself for a renewed communion with the powerful forces that govern the destiny of nations, forces that ultimately determined the fate of empires which, in their turn, rose and fell according to both divine will and human wisdom. This human wisdom. The morning sun climbed higher still over the hallowed river, casting ethereal golden reflections across its ancient waters, waters that had borne witness to the rise and fall of countless dynasties even before this remarkable reign. In the hallowed royal chambers of Ramses, scribes now stood in readiness, their fresh papyrus scrolls unfurled and reed pens poised, awaiting the pharaoh's pronouncements and meticulous responses to the overnight dispatches that had arrived from the very furthest corners of his sprawling empire. The sheer weight of incoming correspondence had steadily intensified throughout his reign, a direct consequence of the empire's territorial expansion and the ever-growing diplomatic complexity. These new realities necessitated increasingly sophisticated administrative responses to challenges that now spanned entire continents. The inaugural document presented for the pharaoh's review bore the distinctive seal of the venerable governor of Elephantine, that crucial fortress city strategically positioned to guard Egypt's vital southern approaches. His detailed report described unusual and somewhat alarming activity among the Nubian tribes beyond the formidable Second Cataract. There, traditional patterns of seasonal movement had given way to uncharacteristically concentrated gatherings, suggesting either significant religious festivals or, more ominously, covert military preparations. The critical distinction between these two possibilities mattered enormously, for misinterpreting peaceful ceremonial gatherings as hostile preparations could, with devastating swiftness, trigger unnecessary conflicts, thereby inflicting irreparable damage upon Egypt's highly profitable relationships with the vital gold-producing regions to the south. With an unwavering gaze, Ramses meticulously studied the governor's carefully worded assessments, simultaneously cross-referencing them with vital intelligence concurrently gathered through a network of other clandestine channels. Reports from desert scouts indicated a noticeable increase in movement along ancient caravan routes traditionally reserved for peaceful trade, while astute merchants, newly returned from their southern expeditions, recounted conversations with influential tribal leaders whose expressed concerns about Egyptian policies appeared genuinely heartfelt, rather than merely fabricated for strategic deception. The pharaoh's piercing questions deftly probed beneath these surface observations, seeking to identify the underlying patterns that would unequivocally reveal the true intentions lurking beneath. The nuanced response he then dictated demonstrated a level of diplomatic sophistication exquisitely refined through decades of masterfully managing complex international relationships. Consequently, additional intelligence gathering was swiftly authorized, to be conducted by carefully selected agents whose deep cultural backgrounds would enable their natural and seamless integration within the tribal communities. Concurrently, diplomatic initiatives, offering expanded and lucrative trading privileges, were promptly approved. These were strategically paired with discreet, yet robust, military preparations, designed to allow for a rapid and decisive response to any genuine threats, all without appearing overtly provocative to the peaceful civilian populations. This meticulous and careful balance vividly reflected his profound understanding that truly effective imperial governance necessitated thorough preparation for a multitude of potential scenarios, while scrupulously avoiding actions that might inadvertently create the very problems they sought so diligently to prevent. From the eastern frontier, newly arrived military dispatches presented a different, yet equally intricate, set of challenges, each demanding the pharaoh's immediate royal attention. Reports indicated that formidable Hittite forces had recently conducted extensive exercises uncomfortably close to Egyptian vassal territories within Syria. Their precise movements were ambiguously interpreted, suggesting either routine training activities designed to hone their combat readiness or, more concerningly, covert reconnaissance preparations for future, potentially aggressive, operations. The critical distinction between these two possibilities carried enormous implications for the delicate regional stability, as any Egyptian response had to be meticulously calibrated to effectively deter genuine threats without inadvertently violating the peace treaty obligations that had, for a time, ushered in unprecedented prosperity for both mighty empires. The commander's comprehensive report, notably, included meticulously detailed observations regarding Hittite equipment, tactical formations, and their apparent objectives, all of which undeniably revealed a professional and sober military analysis, rather than any hint of panicked speculation. Detailed observations revealed that bronze weapons, prominently displayed during the Hittite exercises, showcased impressive technological improvements that could potentially enhance battlefield effectiveness, while their formidable cavalry formations demonstrated innovative tactical maneuvers that might confer distinct advantages in specific combat situations. Nevertheless, the comprehensive assessment of the overall force size and the extent of logistical preparations collectively suggested that these were indeed training exercises, rather than overt invasion preparations, though the precise timing of these maneuvers undeniably raised pertinent questions regarding the deeper Hittite strategic intentions. With characteristic astuteness, Ramses dictated instructions that eloquently reflected a profound strategic patience, skillfully combined with an appropriate level of caution. Military readiness along the sensitive Syrian frontier would be significantly enhanced through the strategic rotation of experienced units, while established diplomatic channels would simultaneously be activated to discreetly explore Hittite motivations through carefully phrased inquiries about their training schedules and overarching strategic objectives. Intelligence gathering, a critical component, would be intensely intensified through a network of agents meticulously positioned to observe actual capabilities rather than merely reported intentions. Concurrently, Egyptian military exercises would be conducted to demonstrate comparable readiness, carefully avoiding any appearance of being directly responsive or provocative to the Hittite activities. Amidst these geopolitical tensions, encouraging developments emerged from commercial reports originating from bustling Mediterranean trading centers, reports that resoundingly validated Egypt's long-term economic strategies. These strategies were meticulously designed to strengthen Egyptian influence through fostering widespread prosperity, rather than relying solely on the costly and often fleeting gains of conquest. Indeed, Egyptian manufactured goods continued to find eager and expanding markets throughout the vast expanse of the ancient world, while robust agricultural exports consistently generated substantial foreign exchange. This vital revenue stream, crucial for the empire's sustained growth, simultaneously funded both military preparedness and the ambitious monumental construction projects. The resounding success of these commercial initiatives powerfully demonstrated the profound principle that economic power, when skillfully wielded, could effectively complement military strength, together forging a truly sustainable imperial dominance. Yet, a shadow loomed. A noticeable increase in piracy within the eastern Mediterranean waters now gravely threatened merchant vessels, laden with valuable cargoes, as they navigated between bustling Egyptian ports and lucrative foreign markets. The perpetrators of these maritime depredations appeared to operate from secure bases located in regions well beyond direct Egyptian control. This unsettling fact suggested either the opportunistic rise of criminal enterprises, cunningly exploiting regional political instability, or, more ominously, coordinated attacks strategically sponsored by hostile powers, intent on inflicting damage upon Egyptian economic interests without risking direct military confrontation. The far-reaching economic implications of this surge in piracy necessitated a meticulous analysis of all available response options, carefully balancing robust protective measures against the empire's finite naval resources. The pharaoh's directives thus authorized significantly enhanced naval patrols, concurrently with exploring astute diplomatic solutions through trusted allied kingdoms whose own commercial interests were demonstrably suffering from the pervasive piracy. Collaborative coordination between Egyptian naval forces and these friendly powers held the potential to not only definitively eliminate entrenched pirate bases but also to establish invaluable precedents for future cooperation in safeguarding broader maritime security. This multi-pronged approach profoundly reflected the pharaoh's astute understanding that enduring economic prosperity for Egypt inherently required a foundation of international stability, a stability that served the mutual interests of multiple kingdoms, rather than narrowly focusing on Egyptian interests alone. At this critical juncture, palace stewards respectfully interrupted these intensive administrative sessions to announce the astonishing arrival of an unexpected delegation from the fabled, mysterious kingdom of Punt. Their representatives, it was reported, had journeyed thousands of perilous miles through dangerous and untamed territories, all to seek an audience with the pharaoh himself. Their sudden presence immediately generated both palpable opportunity and considerable underlying concern, as Punt's enduring mystery suggested both immense potential and unforeseen complexities. The trade in exotic goods yields substantial profits for Egyptian merchants, yet the true diplomatic intentions behind these dealings remain shrouded in mystery. The precise timing of their delegation's arrival hints at a potential nexus with other significant regional developments, a connection that warrants thorough and immediate investigation. The leader of the delegation, an individual whose dignified demeanor unmistakably broadcasts noble lineage and extensive diplomatic training, formally presents his credentials. These documents are inscribed in ancient scripts so obscure that only a handful of Egypt's most accomplished scholars can hope to decipher them. His offerings are lavish and carefully chosen, featuring fragrant aromatic woods, brilliant precious stones, and rare exotic animals. The sheer opulence and unique nature of these gifts eloquently convey Punt's fervent desire to cultivate a favorable impression upon the Egyptian authority, while simultaneously signifying their profound acknowledgement of pharaonic supremacy. Nevertheless, the precise content of his diplomatic requests will necessitate painstaking translation and nuanced cultural interpretation before any truly appropriate or effective responses can be carefully formulated. Ramesses receives these magnificent offerings with the solemn dignity befitting their evident worth, all the while meticulously ensuring that established protocols acknowledge Punt's sovereign independence without, however, in any way diminishing Egyptian preeminence in the broader regional affairs. The ensuing conversations quickly uncover a web of complex concerns spanning vital trade route security, the demarcation of territorial boundaries, and the delicate diplomatic relationships shared with mutual neighbors whose evolving policies profoundly impact both kingdoms. These critical discussions demand not only exceptional cultural sensitivity but also shrewd strategic thinking, focused on the long-term implications for Egypt's burgeoning commercial interests. As the afternoon progresses, the scene shifts back to the magnificent throne room, where the provincial governors are now assembled to present their quarterly reports. These briefings cover the administrative effectiveness within their respective regions and detail the local challenges that necessitate the pharaoh's direct royal guidance. Such formal presentations represent the culmination of many months of meticulous record-keeping and rigorous analysis undertaken by officials whose very careers are intrinsically linked to their ability to demonstrate competent and effective management of their assigned territories. The crucial information they furnish serves as the bedrock for significant policy adjustments, decisions that will ultimately impact the lives of millions of subjects across the sprawling empire. The governor of Memphis delivers an encouraging report, detailing exceptional agricultural yields that have not only produced substantial surpluses, necessitating expanded storage facilities, but have also generated tax revenues far exceeding all projected levels. However, this very success paradoxically ushers in new challenges. Rapid population growth is now placing immense strain on the existing urban infrastructure, while the increased wealth inevitably draws unwelcome attention from criminal elements actively seeking opportunities for theft and extortion. Addressing these multifaceted issues demands a coordinated and integrated response, encompassing sophisticated urban planning, robust law enforcement strategies, and carefully calibrated economic policies designed to effectively balance sustained growth against essential social stability. Reports arriving from the fertile Delta provinces depict a similar picture of widespread prosperity, yet one accompanied by its own distinct set of complications. Favorable annual flooding conditions have facilitated the significant expansion of agriculture into lands previously considered marginal, while simultaneously, advanced irrigation systems now sustain considerably larger populations than ever recorded in historical norms. However, consequential environmental changes affecting natural wildlife patterns have regrettably disrupted traditional hunting and fishing activities, which historically served as crucial supplementary food sources for many rural communities. The central challenge here lies in expertly managing these ecological transitions while diligently striving to preserve rural prosperity. In stark contrast, Upper Egyptian territories contend with the inverse set of problems. Irregular and unpredictable precipitation patterns pose a significant threat to agricultural productivity, even despite generally favorable conditions prevailing throughout much of the Nile Valley. This necessitates expensive modifications to existing water management systems, along with crucial adjustments to tax policies to proactively prevent civilian hardship during anticipated periods of reduced harvest yields. The provincial governor for this region formally requests authorization for emergency grain distributions, to be implemented alongside longer-term infrastructure investments specifically designed to reduce future vulnerability to climate variations. Each of these detailed reports demands a meticulously careful consideration of local circumstances, weighing them against broader imperial policies, all while steadfastly maintaining consistency in royal decisions across Egypt's incredibly diverse geographical and cultural environments. The pharaoh's insightful responses to these varied challenges consistently demonstrate a comprehensive understanding of complex agricultural economics, urban development, and intricate social dynamics. This profound insight is what enables the effective governance of territories whose distinct populations inherently require tailored approaches to universally common challenges. These administrative proceedings are abruptly interrupted by critical intelligence briefings, as urgent new developments demand the pharaoh's immediate and undivided royal attention. Reports indicate that Assyrian diplomatic missions to various neighboring kingdoms strongly suggest concerted alliance-building efforts. These potential alliances could significantly alter regional power balances in ways that directly threaten established Egyptian relationships and its long-standing influence. The timing of these burgeoning initiatives appears to coincide suspiciously with other international developments, hinting at a potentially coordinated series of challenges to Egyptian regional dominance. Concurrently, naval intelligence reports commendably successful operations conducted against persistent pirate bases, actions that have effectively restored security to crucial shipping lanes and, significantly, showcased formidable Egyptian naval capabilities to potential adversaries carefully observing Mediterranean activities. However, a deeper analysis of these operations revealed a surprisingly sophisticated level of organization among the criminal enterprises, suggesting external support and coordination rather than mere opportunistic behavior. The grave implications of this require greatly enhanced surveillance of any foreign involvement in activities that could jeopardize vital Egyptian commercial interests. The pharaoh's astute analysis of these unfolding intelligence developments unequivocally demonstrates a profound strategic thinking, one that carefully considers multiple potential scenarios while meticulously preparing a range of appropriate responses for various possible outcomes. Diplomatic initiatives will be swiftly deployed to thoroughly explore foreign intentions through carefully structured negotiations, while robust military preparations simultaneously ensure a state of unwavering readiness for any situations that might ultimately require forceful intervention. This nuanced approach delicately balances deterrent strength against potentially provocative actions that could inadvertently precipitate unnecessary and costly conflicts. As evening descends, the sacred ceremonies held within the palace's private chapel offer profound spiritual grounding for the weighty decisions that ultimately affect millions of lives. These solemn rites symbolically connect the pharaoh's earthly governance with the immutable divine authority. The rituals, performed in such intimate and hallowed settings, serve a dual purpose, both religious and psychological. They powerfully reinforce the theological foundations of royal power, solidifying its legitimacy, while simultaneously offering the pharaoh a profound personal communion with forces far greater than human understanding. The heartfelt prayers offered during these moments seek divine guidance for the complex challenges that lie ahead, humbly requesting continued protection for an empire whose very existence depends upon sagacious and wise leadership. Later, during the evening meal, family conversations gracefully blend personal affection with strategic dynastic planning, demonstrating how intimate relationships are thoughtfully woven into the broader objectives of maintaining governmental stability for generations to come. Queen Nefertari's astute observations regarding the intricate social dynamics within the court provide invaluable information concerning factional loyalties and potential sources of internal conflict, insights that perfectly complement the more formal intelligence reports. Her unique perspective, particularly her deep understanding of women's views, offers a crucial window into broader social attitudes, which in turn profoundly influence the effectiveness of policies implemented across all strata of Egyptian society. Even the royal children actively contribute, offering their own assessments of administrative performance within the specific governmental responsibilities entrusted to them, all while rigorously preparing for the future leadership roles that will ensure dynastic continuity. Prince Kamwaset's careful oversight of religious institutions, for instance, yields critical intelligence concerning priestly attitudes and the intricate finances of the temples, both of which significantly impact imperial revenues and broader social stability. Prince Mupta's extensive military experience, in turn, provides invaluable perspectives on strategic readiness and the morale of the army, thereby greatly enhancing the understanding of formidable security challenges confronting the entire empire. These intimate discussions collectively reveal the profound emotional complexity inherent in royal family life, where deep personal relationships are inextricably blended with sophisticated political calculations, all aimed at safeguarding imperial continuity. The pharaoh's heartfelt concern for his children's personal welfare is often in subtle competition with the demanding dynastic requirements that inexorably subordinate individual preferences to the broader governmental needs of the empire. This delicate balance between profound family affection and immense imperial responsibility imbues the awesome burdens of absolute power with uniquely human dimensions. Correspondence from distant territories persists late into the evening, as governors diligently report on significant developments that demand royal guidance extending beyond established administrative procedures. Natural disasters, for instance, frequently affect regional economies, necessitating immediate emergency relief measures. Concurrently, diplomatic complications arising with neighboring kingdoms often threaten crucial commercial relationships, which themselves generate substantial imperial revenues. Each unique situation demands a meticulous analysis of local conditions, carefully weighed against broader imperial policy frameworks, all while striving to maintain consistent decision-making across Egypt's incredibly diverse environments. The pharaoh's astute responses consistently demonstrate a remarkable administrative flexibility, a quality essential for the effective governance of territories whose diverse populations inherently require distinct approaches to common challenges. His instructions unfailingly provide clear strategic guidance, yet always allow for crucial regional adaptation to specific local circumstances. This intricate system creates governmental structures that masterfully balance central authority with practical effectiveness, even across immense geographical distances and profound cultural variations. Late evening intelligence briefings further unveil ongoing, complex developments in international relations, all of which demand continuous monitoring and the potential for swift response adjustments. Recent tribal movements observed along sensitive frontier regions, for instance, suggest a possible, unprecedented coordination among groups traditionally known for their independence. Concurrently, foreign diplomatic activities indicate widespread alliance-building efforts, which could significantly threaten established regional relationships that have long been favorable to Egyptian interests. Strategic assessments of these evolving developments consistently reflect a comprehensive understanding of intricate regional dynamics, while simultaneously demonstrating the characteristic patience that has defined and ensured successful Egyptian foreign policy throughout the pharaoh's truly remarkable reign. Response preparations are meticulously formulated, emphasizing diplomatic solutions as the preferred course of action, yet always maintaining robust military readiness for any situations that might ultimately require forceful intervention to preserve vital Egyptian interests and protect allied populations from hostile aggression. As midnight draws near, the vast palace complex gradually settles into a profound nocturnal quietude, broken only by the rhythmic footsteps of essential guard rotations and the quiet hum of administrative activities that continue ceaselessly throughout the hours of darkness. The hushed sounds of a great city preparing for its nightly rest gently drift through the royal chambers, a reassuring backdrop as millions of subjects throughout the expansive empire sleep peacefully, secure under the formidable protection of Egyptian military might and the proven competence of its government. The pharaoh's final reflections before succumbing to sleep invariably center upon the monumental responsibility of governing so many precious lives, while simultaneously managing vast territories whose collective prosperity is intrinsically dependent upon his wise policy decisions and their effective administrative implementation. He understands that every single choice he makes influences historical trajectories, while every achievement, however great, contributes indelibly to the enduring cultural foundations that will sustain Egyptian civilization long after his remarkable reign concludes. Sleep comes gradually, as consciousness gently surrenders to the realm of dreams, where cherished memories of past accomplishments seamlessly blend with inspiring visions of future achievements yet to be realized. In these nocturnal wanderings of his mind, the great completed monuments stand as eternal testimony to his unparalleled royal vision, while successful diplomatic initiatives secure a lasting prosperity for his people, achieved through wisdom rather than the devastation of endless warfare. His subconscious mind tirelessly processes the enormous weight of his responsibilities, even as it prepares for tomorrow's formidable challenges that will undoubtedly test every skill and insight he has meticulously developed through decades of unprecedented success. The sacred river continues its eternal journey through the tranquil darkness, symbolically carrying the collective dreams and aspirations of a civilization that has achieved unparalleled greatness under a leadership that has ushered in an era of unprecedented peace and abundance to the entire ancient world. Throughout the vast expanse of the empire, administrative systems and formidable military institutions, meticulously perfected during this legendary reign, tirelessly continue their vital work of maintaining order, fostering prosperity, and ensuring security for territories stretching from the sun-drenched lands of tropical Africa to the majestic cedar mountains of distant Lebanon. Night passes peacefully over the verdant Nile Valley, while dedicated garrison forces maintain an unyielding, vigilant watch against any potential enemies, and administrative officials prepare diligently for another day of implementing policies that sustain Egyptian dominance through the profound strength of effective governance, rather than through force alone. The eternal rhythm of the great river flows onward, majestically bearing the hopes and aspirations of a people whose monumental achievements will resonate through history as a veritable golden age, an era when pharaonic power reached its absolute zenith under Ramses the Great, whose unparalleled wisdom and formidable strength forged an empire that profoundly redefined the very meaning of civilization in the ancient world. The hushed pre-dawn stillness within the palace chambers carries whispers of eternity, as Ramses begins to stir from his sleep. Shadows seem to dance softly across the walls, intertwined with vivid memories of 3 glorious decades spent upon the revered throne of the two lands. These final, profound years of his reign gracefully unfold like ancient papyrus scrolls, each unfurling sheet bearing the immense weight of accumulated wisdom. Each new morning, however, brings a fresh and poignant awareness of mortality's gradual approach, a stark reality felt even despite the divine blood that flows, by legend, through his venerable veins. The royal awakening itself has, with advancing age, grown more deliberate, a measured process. Yet, the pharaoh's mind remains as acutely sharp and incisive as the polished bronze blades wielded by his loyal palace guards. Attendants now move with exceptional care and reverence around their aging sovereign, deeply understanding that each passing day represents precious, irreplaceable time spent in the august presence of a greatness that may never again grace the earth. The elaborate morning rituals now proceed with a heightened sense of reverence, almost as if the gods themselves pause in their celestial duties to witness these intimate moments of transformation, from mortal man to living deity. The soft, golden light, filtering gently through the palace windows, illuminates features that have become legendary throughout the entire known world. Though deeply lined with the profound weight of years of monumental decision-making, choices that have affected millions of lives, the royal countenance remarkably retains the commanding presence that once struck fear into the hearts of his enemies and inspired unwavering devotion among subjects stretching from the sun-baked gold mines of Nubia to the fragrant cedar forests of distant Syria. The sagacious eyes that have gazed upon more of the earth's wonders than any man before him still burn with an unyielding intelligence, the very intellect that has masterfully guided Egypt through its most glorious and prosperous epoch. Today's incoming correspondence, however, brings forth news that would have seemed utterly impossible during his own youth, a time when the world itself appeared vast, enigmatic, and largely unconquerable. Reports now arrive from lands so incredibly distant that their very names were utterly unknown when he first donned the ceremonial double crown. These are territories where Egyptian influence now extends predominantly through intricate trade networks and astute diplomatic relationships, rather than solely through direct military conquest. Merchants speak of fabled kingdoms lying far beyond the rising sun, lands where magnificent silk originates from curious creatures that spin threads of pure gold. Meanwhile, intrepid southern explorers describe colossal forests where trees grow larger than even the grandest temple columns, and where animals unknown to Egyptian bestiaries roam in endless, breathtaking multitudes. The morning meal unfolds within chambers where every exquisitely adorned surface serves as a silent testament to a reign that has fundamentally redefined the very boundaries of what is possible. Painted walls vividly depict legendary battles won and awe-inspiring monuments painstakingly built, while shimmering golden vessels hold exotic fruits harvested from trees planted in newly acquired lands, and wine, mellowed with age, rests in vast cellars that have known no master save Ramses himself. Remarkably, the pharaoh's appetite remains robust despite his advanced years, a testament to the enduring physical vitality that continues to amaze the venerable physicians who have attended to his royal health since his prime. Senior advisors, themselves grown gray in imperial service, approach their elderly sovereign with a unique mixture of deep reverence and respectful familiarity, a bond forged through decades of loyally serving greatness and overcoming countless shared challenges together. These very men, themselves having grown gray in unwavering imperial service, now carry detailed briefings about an empire that has astonishingly evolved far beyond the mere kingdom they once helped to govern. Administrative systems, meticulously refined through countless years of trial and ultimate success, now operate with a sophisticated efficiency that enables truly effective rule over territories whose sheer diversity and complexity would have undoubtedly overwhelmed earlier pharaohs. The Treasury Minister proudly presents comprehensive financial reports, revealing a national wealth that confidently surpasses the combined resources of all other known kingdoms. Gold flows from the rich Nubian mines in such prodigious quantities that it strains even the most expansive storage facilities, while substantial tribute arrives consistently from numerous vassal states, whose own prosperity has demonstrably flourished under unwavering Egyptian protection. Commercial revenues generated from vibrant Mediterranean trade far exceed even the wildest, most optimistic projections made during the reign's early years, a time when such an unprecedented level of economic success seemed achievable only through direct divine intervention. Concurrently, military briefings detail professional forces whose formidable capabilities utterly dwarf those of any potential adversary. Highly disciplined armies, strategically stationed throughout the vast empire, consistently maintain readiness levels so exceptional they effectively deter aggression, while their very presence reassures allied populations of unwavering, continued Egyptian protection. Powerful naval fleets vigilantly patrol waterways stretching from the crucial Nile Delta all the way to distant, foreign shores, where Egyptian merchants confidently conduct their business under flags that now command universal respect and undisputed authority. The morning court session formally commences with time-honored ceremonies that have thoughtfully evolved throughout the reign, delicately adapting to accommodate the pharaoh's advancing years while meticulously preserving all essential dignity. Courtiers approach their sovereign with gestures refined through decades of intricate protocol development, their movements gracefully choreographed to demonstrate the utmost reverence without taxing the royal patience, which has grown increasingly precious with the relentless passage of time. Even the magnificent throne itself has been subtly modified to provide greater comfort during lengthy proceedings, though its inherent splendor and magnificence remain utterly undiminished. Petitioners now present a diverse array of cases, each intrinsically illustrating how Egyptian society has profoundly matured and flourished under such profoundly competent leadership. Commercial disputes frequently involve complex trading networks spanning continents, while agricultural concerns center around sophisticated irrigation systems that ingeniously support populations far exceeding any historical levels. Legal precedents meticulously established during earlier, formative years of his reign now provide robust frameworks for sagaciously resolving the intricate issues that arise from prosperity and growth, rather than from scarcity and destructive conflict. The pharaoh's incisive responses to these varied matters consistently demonstrate a deep well of wisdom, accumulated through experiences that no other ruler has ever matched. His piercing questions expertly probe beneath superficial presentations to identify profound underlying principles, while his judicious judgments invariably create enduring precedents that will guide Egyptian governance for generations. Indeed, long after his remarkable reign concludes, the comprehensive legal traditions now being firmly established will continue to influence civilization for centuries, laying unshakable foundations for justice that transcend any temporary political arrangements. Between these formal public proceedings, carefully arranged private audiences allow for more intimate, profound conversations, which truly reveal the personal, human dimensions of absolute power exercised across a lifetime marked by unprecedented achievement. Foreign ambassadors, now at the end of their terms, earnestly seek final meetings with a revered ruler whose formidable reputation has become legendary throughout their distant homelands. Meanwhile, seasoned domestic officials respectfully request his guidance, seeking wisdom that will sustain governmental effectiveness during the eventual, inevitable transitions to new leadership. Concurrently, intelligence reports consistently describe international conditions that have been fundamentally shaped by pervasive Egyptian influence, meticulously accumulated over decades of strategic diplomacy. Former enemies, once staunch adversaries, now actively seek alliance with an empire whose strength has proven to be both overwhelming in its might and, remarkably, ultimately beneficial to the enduring stability of the entire region. Trading relationships, patiently and strategically established through diligent negotiation, now generate widespread prosperity throughout the ancient world, while a vigilant military deterrence effectively prevents the devastating conflicts that once ravaged and decimated entire populations. The afternoon inspection of Abu Simbel reveals monumental structures whose awe-inspiring completion represents the very culmination of architectural ambitions that once seemed utterly beyond human capability. The colossal statues, carved from living rock, gaze eternally across the sacred river, and have since become revered pilgrimage destinations for people throughout the entire known world. Meanwhile, their intricately designed interior chambers house breathtaking artistic treasures, masterfully crafted to preserve royal memory in forms that are destined to endure throughout eternity. Master craftsmen are still diligently putting the finishing touches on intricate decorative elements, whose unparalleled beauty surpasses anything ever attempted by earlier civilizations. Walking through these magnificent, completed halls, Ramesses witnesses the profound physical manifestation of the grand visions that have sustained him throughout his extraordinary reign. Him through decades of both formidable challenge and resounding triumph. Every magnificent surface within the palace tells intricate stories of divine favor and unparalleled human achievement, while discreetly hidden chambers safeguard invaluable treasures, accumulated through the implementation of highly successful policies that consistently brought immense wealth flowing into Egyptian coffers from every corner of the civilized world. The grandeur of these monuments represents far more than mere personal aggrandizement. They stand as permanent, awe-inspiring reminders of the extraordinary heights that human civilization can ascend to under truly wise and benevolent leadership. As evening descends, it brings with it cherished family gatherings that have now acquired a special poignancy, for even as a divine king, the pharaoh quietly contemplates the undeniable approach of his own mortality. Queen Nefertiti herself, having aged with remarkable grace into a figure of legendary wisdom, shares astute observations about court life and social developments. These insights not only complement official reports but also provide unique perspectives, shaped by her profound feminine understanding, which are often subtly overlooked in masculine administrative circles. Her enduring beauty and keen intelligence continue to make their relationship an exemplary model for royal marriages throughout the entire ancient world. The royal children, now fully mature leaders bearing their own significant responsibilities, actively contribute their valuable assessments of governmental effectiveness and the administrative challenges present within their respective areas of authority. Prince Menapter's extensive military experience instills unwavering confidence regarding Egypt's formidable defensive capabilities. Concurrently, Prince Kaimoet's dedicated scholarly pursuits provide reassurance that Egypt's rich cultural traditions will not only survive but thrive through transitions to new leadership. Together, their collective competence offers a profound sense of stability, ensuring that dynastic succession will seamlessly maintain governmental order and societal harmony. These intimate conversations between family members deftly blend personal affection with strategic planning, as these deep relationships serve the broader, crucial objective of meticulously preparing for imperial continuity. The pharaoh's sagacious guidance helps to shape the future leaders of Egypt, while his vast accumulated wisdom provides indispensable frameworks for sound decision-making that will undoubtedly sustain Egyptian greatness for countless generations to come. The inherent emotional complexity of royal family life adds a vital human dimension to the immense responsibilities that encompass millions of lives across Egypt's vast territories. Correspondence arriving from distant provinces consistently reveals administrative systems functioning with remarkable smoothness and efficiency, despite the pharaoh's advancing years. Provincial governors report consistently stable conditions, widespread economic prosperity, and profound social harmony, all direct reflections of decades of brilliant and competent policy implementation. The sophisticated governmental structures, meticulously created and refined throughout his long and illustrious reign, now operate with such exceptional efficiency that they enable effective rule even as the royal attention necessarily becomes more selective and focused. Final intelligence briefings detail international conditions that have been fundamentally and positively altered by the pervasive Egyptian influence, meticulously accumulated over 3 decades of strategic success. Regional power balances are now firmly aligned to favor Egyptian interests, while robust alliance networks ensure continued stability throughout the entire ancient Near East. Military deterrence effectively prevents conflicts, simultaneously fostering diplomatic relationships that generate widespread prosperity, benefiting all participants in the Egyptian-dominated international systems. As the eternal stars wheel majestically overhead and the sacred Nile continues its timeless, life-giving journey toward the sea, we gently bring to a close our exploration of a reign that truly defined the very pinnacle of human achievement. Through these quiet, contemplative hours, you have symbolically walked alongside Ramses the Great, experiencing the daily rhythms that sustained an empire stretching across continents, witnessing firsthand how divine kingship manifested itself in countless moments of profound wisdom, sacred ceremony, and immense responsibility. His magnificent legacy flows onward like the river itself, perpetually carrying the dreams and the indelible accomplishments of a civilization that touched the highest aspirations of what mortals can achieve when guided by an unwavering vision and sustained by an absolute dedication to greatness. Sleep peacefully, my friend, knowing that some stories transcend the very fabric of time itself, echoing through eternity like the whispered secrets of the gods.